It's PMS, Pugs Moran show for a Wednesday afternoon here on The Bar Live, thebarlive.com. Check out the podcast, check out the YouTube videos, all of that stuff right there at thebarlive.com. Also, the Facebook page is The Bar Live. You can check that out. We'll be posting all those things there as well.
And also, if I can throw this in there, the podcast, from now on, I have it linked in a way to where every time it gets updated, it automatically goes to the Bar Live Facebook page.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so if you go there and like that, you'll automatically be updated each time that there is an update.
All right, so go to thebarlive.com and click like, and you'll get your updates on when a new podcast has been posted.
Yep.
Or, I'm sorry, as we say, podcast.
Podcast.
Podcast. The way the English say it.
Yeah.
Sounds so much better. It's a podcast. All right, three things here. The last one that I want to get into here is a little sports related. Jimmy, did you watch the big basketball game last night?
I saw it as it was happening on Twitter, as I do most things. Yeah.
I'm so trying to figure you out. Are you a sports fan?
I used to play football. I played other sports when I was younger, but I just kind of got
athletic.
bored.
You've got an athletic build. You look like you would be athletic.
Yeah, it's probably just from when I was younger. But I like football still. I'm a big Raiders fan.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, if for some reason the Raiders are especially doing bad, then I almost lose faith.
You don't have a football season that year?
Not really. I mean, unless like one of the other teams that I kind of like end up doing well, or there's a good story.
That's how I've been with college football the last couple of years. Well, actually, the last decade, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah.
Because in college football, as soon as your team loses, you are not going to get a national championship.
Yeah.
So, as a Notre Dame fan, it's been like week 3 where they lose, and I'm like, I have no interest in college football anymore this year. No interest.
Because if they lose once,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why we need a bowl system. That's why we need a playoff system for these bowls, you know?
Now, I have been told, because I didn't go to one of the main universities that I would end up, rooting for the team, So I never got into college football, but I have been told that I would get into college football if I start betting on it. So is that...
I'm not going to encourage you to start betting on sports.
Well, at the same time, though, that does sound like a good way to spend Saturdays, because during football season, you only have Sundays that you can look forward to.
You'll be one of those dudes chain smoking at the bar all by himself. You're in the corner, you're standing in front of 6 TV screens watching 6 different games going on, screaming at people on the phone.
Is that guy not likable?
No, that guy's not likable.
Oh, okay.
That guy, that guy's seedy. That's all you need to know.
All I was trying to do was get into the college football season.
Yeah, well, no.
Now I've lost all my friends.
Yeah, don't do that. And now you're that guy at the bar.
Yeah.
Chain smoking, drinking draft beer.
Nothing wrong with draft beer.
No.
All right.
No. It's classier, I think, to have a mixed drink. But what do we know?
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks something is classy probably isn't classy.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to mention this, though. The NBA Finals started last night. The Oklahoma City Thunder taking down the Miami Heat in Game 1. Oh, what a spectacular game that was. I'm really into this series. The Miami Heat have done something that I don't think I remember in NBA basketball. At least you'd have to go as far back as the Pistons, who we're going to talk about here in a second. The bad boy image of the Pistons from the 80s and the 90s. They were the last time that I remember a team being so universally disliked by everyone outside of their home market. And that's really what's going on with Miami. Everybody's rooting against Miami. And it's a David and Goliath kind of situation here, which is why this NBA Finals, I think, is going to break ratings records.
Now, how far into the finals are they right now?
1 game.
Are you kidding me?
1 game was played last night, Game 1.
I think you're right then, because like I said, I was literally following it on my Twitter feed, which is very rare. That means that it's like a pinnacle moment usually. And this is only Game 1?
Game 1, last night, yeah. Wow. But what you have here is you have the super team, the Miami Heat, who went out and cherry-picked the best free agents, put them all together on one team. We'll all remember LeBron James holding the live television press conference on ESPN where he said he was taking my talents to South Beach. And, it was just such an arrogant... It didn't play well.
No, I've always hated LeBron James, so I am along with everybody on this.
You know what the greatest thing about LeBron James being hated is?
What's that?
Before this happened, before he did the whole blew off his hometown of Cleveland to go to Miami and put together this, team full of ringers, which is really the best way you can describe what the Miami Heat did. They tried to basically buy a championship with the best team possible, which everybody tries to do, but it just seemed a bit gluttonous. To the typical, especially to a fan of a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who is a very small market team who can't compete on that level, it seemed very, it left a bad taste in NBA fans' mouths. And what you had here is, last year they lost to the Mavericks, which was beautiful, but they made it to the finals. I don't even want them making it to the finals. I want them knocked out of the finals.
Right.
And now what you've got here is you've got the Super Dream team from Miami versus the super small market team in the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have a great team themselves. They've got James Harden, Russell Westbrook, of course Kevin Durant. Is the big star. I mean, that's a really good young, small market team. And the buzz in that market for the Oklahoma Thunder, it's, oh my God, it's like Jesus came back. It's like Jesus is standing there in the town square in the middle of Oklahoma City, and he's shooting hoops. I mean, that's how crazy, that's all they have. It's all they have. It's the way a college town gets totally into their college team.
Well, I remember when they even got their team. It must have been 4 years ago?
3 or 4 years ago. Well, they were the Seattle Sonics. In the Sonics, I think they moved to Oklahoma City. Yeah, about 3 years, 4 years, something like that.
It just, when it happened, everybody, at least that I was running into, was kind of laughing about the fact that Oklahoma City has a team.
Yeah, well, it's kind of strange.
Yeah, what do they need a team for, And now look at what they're doing.
We're going to give Plano a team next year?
Right.
I mean, why does Oklahoma City have a team?
Yeah, I've been to Oklahoma City, and it really does resemble some of the off-the-beaten-path towns.
Look, Oklahoma City is Tulsa without all the glamour.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it's not even the coolest city in the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Tulsa is the oil city. That's where the money is. That's where, all the stuff is. Oklahoma City's like, really?
Watch now, because of this basketball team, everyone's going to be moving to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, apparently. Well, actually, it's funny, but Oklahoma City is it's funny they say that it's booming, because I keep saying this. You know what they project to be one of the largest cities in America by 2050?
Don't you say Oklahoma City.
Nope.
Okay.
Des Moines, Iowa.
Ah, okay.
Des Moines, you want to buy property right now? You want to get your NBA franchise somewhere? Do it in Des Moines, Iowa, because all they got is corn, and they're trying to do so much stuff energy-wise with corn that they're predicting that city's just going to explode. The way the Texas cities exploded with the oil money, Des Moines is going to explode with corn money.
Wow.
As soon as they figure out something to do with corn other than clog our arteries, then they'll have something.
So right now, Des Moines, Iowa is just occupied by nothing but scientists walking around in cornfields. But once they figure this out...
Scientists being trailed by their bankers. Bankers trying to figure out if they can make some money off what the scientist thinks he can come up with.
A little nervous tap with a pen the entire time.
So at any rate, the final started yesterday. Oklahoma City won. Everybody's very excited. The beautiful thing about the LeBron James situation is that LeBron James, before he took his talents to South Beach, was one of these guys who was beloved. People loved him. He hosted Saturday Night Live. He hosted the MTV Music Awards. People were like, wow, that LeBron James, he's pretty funny. He's pretty charming. He had such a positive Q rating. A Q rating is what old Hollywood used to do to judge a person's appeal, a celebrity's appeal. He was way high up on the Q rating. What
was likable, at least to me, was that he was staying in the small market.
Cleveland?
At the time.
It was his hometown. He was a hometown kid. It was a good feeling all around. Cleveland had sucked. They hadn't had anything. I think the Indians were the last Cleveland team to win a championship, and that was in the 40s. So it was a nice story. And then he moved, and everybody hated him. And from what everyone says about LeBron James, that is the worst thing you can do to LeBron James, because LeBron James just wants to be loved by everybody. That's like his thing. He wants to be applauded when he walks into rooms. He wants everyone to adore him. And the fact that he is the most hated, actually he's not, he's number 2. Actually, no, I think he's number 1. Every year this list for the last couple of years have gone back and forth. He and A-Rod are the 2 most disliked professional athletes, and that supposedly kills LeBron. It kills him.
Good.
Because he just wants to be a nice guy who's liked by everybody.
Because, I actually didn't have any problem with LeBron James up until I saw a video of him, and maybe you've seen this, where he's on the side, and there's one of these kids that, it's probably his life dream to be on the sideline with all these basketball players. And they take off that top little sweater jacket and the pull-off pants, and all he had to do was just hand it to him. Well, he threw it to the other side, right past the guy he's supposed to hand it to, and he goes and picks up his pants, and then as he goes to pick up the pants, he throws his sweater jacket the other opposite way so that the kid has to run over there and get it.
Okay.
This is mid-game.
All right. That looks bad, isolated.
Yeah.
But how do you know that's not just LeBron being playful to the kid? You know, he might have just been screwing with the kid, which would then flip that to he's got a good relationship with. You know what I mean?
Okay, maybe. But it just looked like a...
But that's the only thing LeBron James has ever done publicly is do that press conference where he said he's taking his talents to South Beach. Everything else that the guy has done is nice. He's good with kids. I mean, he has...
Really?
Yeah, he's still... He's been doing this camp in Cleveland for years, and in last year when he went back to Cleveland, the first summer that he was in Miami, he went back to Cleveland. He said he's not going to let the people scare him away, even though they put billboards up that said "LeBron, go home," and stuff like that, or "You can't come home," or something like you can't go home again. This isn't your home anymore. That kind of stuff. And he's like, no, he's like, I'm going to keep coming back here, and I'm going to keep doing this for these kids because these are kids that grew up the way I did. I mean, he does everything right, but to his endless chagrin, he cannot catch a break because America still hates his guts.
I don't know, man. I have a feeling that it's for the right. I just don't think that he would be a very good person.
He's an arrogant SOB.
Yeah.
Look, you get every professional athlete on the planet is an arrogant SOB. Now, there are degrees to this arrogance. And the guy at the very low end, let's say he's a guy that... he's been in the NFL for 5 years. He plays special teams. He's bounced around to 4 teams. He's certainly not a name that anyone knows unless maybe he played for your team for 1 season or something. That guy is an arrogant a-hole. That guy is not nearly as much of an arrogant a-hole as Emmitt Smith is, but that guy is an arrogant a-hole because he's in the league.
Right.
So you just have to understand that every professional athlete you could possibly run into is a bigger jerk than anyone else you know in your personal life. And that's because they're pro athletes. That's because everything is handed to them their entire life, and nobody ever says no to them. So when you do say no, or when something goes not according to plan for them in their personal life, they react like a spoiled, rotten little baby. Whether they're a 5th-round draft pick or a 1st overall, it doesn't matter. This is just what they are. They're pricks, all of them. And I've got friends who are these guys, and I call them pricks. I say, you're an arrogant prick. Look at you. You don't know, you have no idea what the real world is like until you turn 35, and you've blown all your money. And now you're managing a bar.
I'm not going to name any names, but I have run into a couple of those guys, and they do an about face very quickly. Where all of a
suddenly
sudden
they're nice to everybody?
Yeah.
Because the walls have closed in on them?
Yeah. So, there's always that part of it. Yeah. So maybe LeBron, when he's hitting his 40s, he'll be
all right, this
doing
is
all
not the
types of good
story I
stuff.
want to go into, but since we're talking about arrogant pricks who are athletes, I want to talk about Josh Hamilton, who I cannot stand. I cannot stand this guy. And for any number of reasons. I know that we here in Texas, we're supposed to love Josh Hamilton because, he's just such a great... All he does is hit a ball, okay? That's why we love Josh Hamilton. Other than that, he's sanctimonious, he's preachy, He's fallen off the wagon twice that we know of, twice that made big headlines, and then he always falls right back into it's all part of Jesus' plan. Really, it's part of Jesus' plan for you to bang that chick in the bathroom at Sherlock's? That was a part of Jesus' plan for you to completely betray your marriage vows, your family, anything.
Oh, that's right. He was married, wasn't he?
Of course he's married. He doesn't care. He's Josh Hamilton. He can do no wrong. Yeah.
Jesus gave it to him.
Ask his wife while he's banging some whore in a bathroom at Sherlock's. Yeah, he can do no wrong. Stop it. Stop it with the Josh Hamilton. The guy can hit a ball, and as soon as the New York Yankees come looking to pay him all the money in the world, he's going to leave the Texas Rangers because it's not about him being here. It's about him being an arrogant SOB, and that's what Josh Hamilton is.
You think that's going to be his next move? Off to the Yankees?
Well, this brings us the story. So he's, they got to get a contract done for this guy. He's coming up. He is, right now, he's probably the best, certainly one of the best hitters in baseball. Certainly.
I remember I went to a game, and I don't watch baseball very much, but I actually ended up going to a Rangers game. He seemed to get every home run in the game.
He's very good.
There must have been 4 home runs.
Look, let me tell you something. The guy did crack for 10 years. helped his swing. Because he wasn't, before the crack, he wasn't nearly the player that he is after the crack. So I think the crack probably helped him.
Well, they do say that in baseball, your swing, it's all about repetition, really getting it down, and nothing like crack to get you doing something repetitively.
That's right, over and over and over again. All right, so anyway, Josh Hamilton, they're talking contract. Texas Rangers certainly want to keep him. He is their marquee guy. He is the biggest star that the Texas Rangers have had since, well, I would say since A-Rod, since they lost A-Rod to the Yankees for $250 million, which is insane.
Wait, what? $250 million?
Oh, yeah, you remember that? It was 10 years ago.
Jeez.
$250 million contract is what the New York Yankees gave to Alex Rodriguez.
Unbelievable.
To leave the Texas Rangers. So, at any rate, and by the way, Hamilton leads all-star voting by, like, it's not even close. He's like, the fans across the country are like, yeah, that guy can play. Let's put him in the all-star game. He's like, totally, nobody is saying that Josh Hamilton can't play baseball. I'm talking about Josh Hamilton, the human being, who I think is a huge scumbag. That's all I'm saying. I'd take him on my team. He wants to come to the White Sox, play the outfield for us. I'll take him. But, you know, it's not going to mean I'm going to like him. I'm not going to want to go have beers with him. Okay, so apparently his wife is doing all of the, I don't know if it's the hardcore negotiations, but as far as like leaking stuff out to the press and all that about her husband's contract status and all that, it seems to be his wife. And his wife is also, you know, one of these, they're both insufferable with their Jesus. They're just, people who are so into Jesus don't realize that you're actually insulting the rest of us who don't believe with your fanaticism. You can be, I'm glad you have your faith. I'm glad that you have found something that makes this crazy life easier for you to get through. Wonderful. I wouldn't begrudge anyone that. But when you start talking, when everything, all the good things in your life you claim have to do with this, you know, mythical being that's sitting in the throne up on the clouds with the long white beard judging us all, it starts to make the rest of us think, you know what? One, you're a lunatic. And two, are you saying that we are somehow damned because we don't believe what you know what I mean? I'm insulted every time, you know, these people talk about how their life is so good because of this Jesus thing.
Well, and the problem is that you were tuning in to find out what was going on in contract negotiations, right? How did she get into this? Like that's the main problem.
Oh, the wife?
Yeah, like how did... I mean, like, you tuned in to find out how the contract negotiations were going around. You left feeling like lesser of a person because they're going to judge you in some rampage.
Here's how this happens. Yeah. How does the wife emerge as the mouthpiece? Well, you get caught screwing chicks in bathrooms at bars twice. That's what happens. That's you know. And now, after the second time that he's fallen off the wagon and been philandering with women and doing, you know, beer bongs or whatever the hell it is he's doing. After the second time that happens and you're high profile like Josh Hamilton and your whole world is about Jesus, you got to figure the wife has some secrets. You got to figure the wife has some stuff that, should she go rogue on you? Should she decide to step out, hold a press conference, file for divorce, whatever? It's going to be horrible for you. So Josh, she's got him by the balls. So she can do whatever the hell she wants. She can say whatever the hell she wants, and he can't do nothing about it.
It is that awkward situation, kind of like when a politician gets caught cheating and he goes up to the podium for his first announcement and the wife is like right here, right behind him, and like he gets asked the question like, "Are you going to work it out?" Yeah, we're working things out.
Talk to the warden. You know? Yeah, that's really what it is.
The gatekeeper.
Yeah. So at any rate, she has said along the lines of, I don't have the story and I'm not going to quote it accurately, but we're just talking about the story. So she has basically said that they're going to weigh all options in free agency. They're going to, they know that there's going to be a lot of interest in Josh Hamilton. And Jimmy, this is what she said. Okay? Again, I can't, it's not a direct quote, but this is the gist of what she said.
Right.
There's a lot of money being offered out there. There's a lot of money being talked about and a lot of money being thrown around. And we're going to sign the contract that gives us the most money because we've not given back enough. And we're going to give back. We're going to take all of the money that, say, the New York Yankees or some other big market, the Dodgers, the Cubs, some big market team who has all of this money to pay. We're going to take the biggest amount of money, and then we're going to have more to give back to society. Is that the biggest load of bull crap? Because, you know, if that's the case, he better be giving 75% of his salary to charities right now. He ought to be living in an apartment in Arlington, a 2-bedroom with his wife. He ought to be driving a car that he owns outright. He's not leasing. He's not buying. Is that the biggest bunch of bull crap ever? What she's basically saying is, hey, Texas, we don't want to live here anymore. We're going to go live in some big fancy metropolitan area that's going to pay us a whole lot more money. But it's not because we don't want to live here. It's because of God. It's because of Jesus. Jesus is going to tell us what to do with that money. And we're going to give that money to people who need it.
The point would be really easy to make. I mean, I would imagine he's making a crazy amount of money right now, so he could say, look, we're making this amount.
Not a crazy amount. Not as much as he should be making, because remember, he's still on the contract that he was kind of a doped-up loser.
There's a guy at McDonald's who would say that it's a crazy amount of money.
Thank you.
You know, so
right. It is a crazy amount of money for me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
if he makes more than $1,000 a month, it's a crazy amount of money, okay?
So, I mean, like, he's not hurting by any means. And if he went out to the press conference and said, look, I'm not hurting. I'm able to make my bills. I have crazy amounts of money afterwards that I don't even know what to do with. Probably don't need it because usually I'll find myself in a bar situation where I'm hooking up with some girl in the bathroom. So maybe I should be giving more of this away. So this is what I'm making right now. I want every other team that is willing to match that to put it in their bid. But the team that gives me the most, whatever is above what I'm making right now, that's going to be donated. You tell me where you're going to donate that in the amount that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
That's making a point. This bitch isn't making a point.
No.
She's saying we can make a lot of money and you'll get some of it if you're lucky.
It's greed.
Yeah.
It's greed. That's what she's doing. She's trying to camouflage her greed in her Christianity by saying that the more money that she gets, the more money Josh Hamilton gets means there's more money in their foundation that they can then give to people who... That is the biggest load of bullcrap. He better be giving millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars away today for her to make a statement like that.
This is, I just, when I meet an athlete, just like you were saying, they have to win me over if I'm like,
they start out in a hole with me. They start out in a big hole with me.
And this is part of the reason why, is because like it's so easy to get in front of this thing and like be honest about it, but they aren't going to be ever like about the fact that it is just going to be about money. I don't know. It's just it's what you should expect almost at this point.
It's so irritating. It's so irritating that these pious people, these people who claim to be so pious and godly, and all of this, they're wrapped in Christianity, and it's a blessed day. I hit those home runs because Jesus. What? So Jesus hated the pitcher? Is that what you're saying? You hit that home run, so Jesus obviously likes you. Boy, that pitcher ought to just go hang himself because Jesus was conspiring against him.
Yeah, and can you imagine if like that's what the pitcher? Damn it!
What if the pitcher's like a hardcore Jesus dude too?
Yeah.
And you know what? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Because of a World Series, there becomes two Jesuses that we follow. The big split off of the World Series.
Well, there's American League Jesus and National League Jesus. That's what happens in the World Series.
There's different churches. They're split down the middle.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. So Josh Hamilton. On a short list, certainly, of the best players in baseball. Texas Rangers are going to have to pay him, or other people are going to come courting. And remember, folks, Texas Ranger fans, it's nothing against you. It's not. It's just all about him getting more money so that he can give it to Jesus, so that Jesus will know what to do with all the money. So don't fret. So when it comes down to like the difference of $10 million, we'll know why. It's Jesus. So blame Jesus if Josh Hamilton doesn't become a Texas Ranger again.
Will that effectively almost ruin the team? I mean, like, I don't know exactly how this team is. No,
it won't ruin the team at all. No. Well, I mean, look, he's a very good player. He's a very good player, and he's best hitter, and he's dangerous, and he protects a lot of the other hitters around him in the lineup because he is so dangerous. But they haven't won a World Series with him. And he's had 2 great years. They made it to the World Series. I think he's replaceable. Everybody in baseball is replaceable. We'll take a break. We'll come back. It's PMS, the Pugs Moran Show on thebarlive.com. It's PMS, Pugs Moran Show for a Wednesday afternoon on thebarlive.com. Jimmy Ryan is with me. Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, man.
All right, just before we went to that last break, we were talking about the Josh Hamilton story, and I was able to find the actual quotes from his wife, Katie Hamilton, as they appear in Sports Illustrated regarding the free agency of Josh and all of that. Let me read you a little bit of this, okay? Let's see here. Obviously, Katie, a woman of great strength and a woman who seemingly has become even stronger because of the many trials and tribulations that being married to Josh brought into the home. The philandering, the drinking, the drugging, all of that stuff. None of that, of course, is a secret. Josh even wrote a best-selling book about it. Katie, again, talks about it openly in this week's edition of Sports Illustrated, which hit newsstands yesterday. Josh, in fact, is the SI cover boy for the week. This story is a long and good read. Let's see. The timing, however, this is Randy Galloway's column that I'm reading from, about the SI column. The timing, however, for Josh being the cover story is not necessarily good, seeing that the Rangers are stumbling along this week and have been stumbling along for a good month. And Josh is no different from most of the hitters. He's been pretty much stinko. Not that he's alone in the stinko department. So with many issues circling around the Rangers, the latest being the disabled list for pitchers Derek Holland, Josh and Katie Hamilton used the SI story to again lay down the financial ground rules for his upcoming free agency this fall. There's no new major news breaking here, for the most part, because Josh has always been very adamant in saying, remember, this is Josh, re-signing with the Texas Rangers is not a personal priority, and the highest dollar is his only priority. All right, so that's what he has publicly said. Screw you, fans. Re-signing with the Texas Rangers is not a personal priority. The money is a personal priority.
What is he doing going out there and making these statements? I mean, isn't this what an agent's for? And you put your agent out there to make these dollar mentions.
Yeah, but I think those kinds of things probably came through an agent first, and then he's reiterated them. But yeah, I mean, the agent does this stuff. But he also, you know.
Do you not realize that you look like a tool when you go out in front of the entire?
Well, no, we talked about pro athletes. They don't understand that they act like a tool because they've always been able to get away with acting like a tool. They've been tools their entire life.
This is unbelievable. Yeah, go society. Way to go.
We make these guys deities.
Yeah.
And, you know, how do you expect them to ask? Bunch of inbred moron jockos who, you know, if there wasn't pro sports leagues, would probably be bouncing at bars or something. I mean, really, these guys have nothing to offer the world. Josh Hamilton has nothing to offer the world except hitting 450-foot home runs.
No,
that's it.
The first pro athlete I ever met lived 2 houses down from me as I was growing up. He was a drunk man who would show you his football card from when he was on the Cowboys 10 years ago.
Creepy old drunk guy.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's see here. The timing, however, for Josh being the cover story, but we got that. There's no new major news breaking, but Josh has always been very adamant in saying re-signing with the Rangers is not a personal priority, and the highest dollar is his only priority. But Katie, let me review with you one quote among many that Katie Hamilton said in the story. The quote is this. All right, now this is directly from the wife of Josh Hamilton in the Sports Illustrated article. Quoting now, "Fans and reporters are so far off base with where we are now. They'll say, oh, Josh doesn't care about the money. No, we don't really care about the money so much for us, but we have huge plans for this money. And no, it's not strictly for our bank account. It's for a hurting world. So give me the biggest free agent contract ever and I'll fix the world."
Wow.
Shut up. Shut up with that. You know, the best people, the best philanthropists are the ones that do it in secret. The ones that do it quietly. Not the ones who use their future philanthropy as a way to put pressure on teams to pay them more money. Are you kidding me? That is scummy. That is so scummy.
Yeah, Bill Gates isn't coming out saying, you know, AIDS in Africa could be taken care of a bit better, but Windows 8 is coming out next year.
Yeah.
And if you don't buy it, say goodbye to them.
You know, if you people hadn't been so critical of Vista, we'd have probably solved world hunger by now.
Yeah.
Good job, people. Yeah, no, they don't do that. Katie goes on to say, more quotes here, the other thing they keep saying is, Josh needs Texas. He needs the comfort of this team. We need Jesus. We need God. He goes with us wherever we are. Yes, we're comfortable in Texas, but maybe God hasn't called us to comfort. I mean, he didn't call Jesus to comfort. you see this? Did you see this? This is the rhetoric that spills out of these Hamilton fools that drive me absolutely nuts. How do you argue that? How do you argue someone that is so brainwashed that their default go-to is Jesus? Well, it's just the way Jesus wants it. Hey, why did you hit and run me? Well, it's just the way Jesus wanted it. At the moment, I hit you, and Jesus told me in my head that I needed to get out of there. What? You can't do that. You can't use Jesus. Yeah, the fans are upset with you because we're saying that you're money-grubbing fools, and you're saying, no, we're not money-grubbing. It's Jesus. It's Jesus and God. Jesus and God want the money because we're gonna heal the world. Isn't that despicable? Isn't that disgusting?
Well, especially considering, if you were to even listen to the beginnings of what this Jesus guy was supposed to be about, it's not about that. It's about giving everything you have away.
Vow of poverty.
So you would think that she would be like, you know what? We don't even need the money that we have. So where are we going to put all this? Let's get together. Let's talk about where all this money's going. Like, that would have been an unbelievable press conference. Like, oh, let's get to the real issues of things. Like, where we're going to put this money because we don't need it.
If she's going to make these statements now, he better be giving at least 70% of his entire income away.
Right.
Because if he's not, then this is just BS. This is just scummy public negotiation. That's all this is. And you're leveraging your image as godly Christians to your advantage. That is so scumbaggy.
Yeah. I wish
I hate the Hamiltons.
Yeah.
I really do. I want them on my team, but I don't want to have anything else to do with them. I don't get out of here. I don't care, Josh Hamilton. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to see your press conferences.
I don't even want him on my team because
I do. He can hit a ball.
Yeah, fine, but I don't. Baseball. I'm not even sure why it's still around. I'm pretty sure it's for the hot dogs.
How dare you, sir? Baseball is America's pastime.
Past. So baseball, beer, and hot dogs. That's what I was there for. I had a great time. I'm sure that there were home runs. I'm pretty sure that Josh was the guy who was doing them. But if this means that every single time that I turn on my local news and I'm going to have to hear about Josh's latest thing while he was out at a bar in Addison, and this is going to turn into the main story, I'm not interested. Go to another market. Like you said, he's replaceable. I don't have to hear the stories. I don't have to hear the stories. I don't have to hear about this guy. It's the same reason why I don't want Tim Tebow to be on the Raiders. He could be great. I mean, like, we could.
No, he can't. No. See, Tim Tebow is different though because Tim Tebow isn't nearly the athlete that Josh Hamilton is in his chosen sport. Tim Tebow is not the Josh Hamilton of football.
I just, when I tune into football, I'm looking for just reckless, very dangerous sports. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for big hits.
Godless heathens, right?
I mean, like, that's what I'm looking for. And like, it's all confusing when all of a sudden you have, God pitting down on one team over the other.
I hate that. I hate when God wins a Grammy. I hate when God wins an Oscar. Yeah. I hate it. I hate it when God wins a world championship.
God's only looking out for some of us, apparently.
Yeah. God's a winner.
God wins every time.
God wins every time, regardless. Especially when it's a black artist at the Grammy Awards. It doesn't matter who the other contestants were. Whoever wins, Jesus won. You can count on it. All right. Here's someone who didn't win. This is a quick little bite that I wanted to throw out here. Henry Hill is dead at 69 years old.
Yeah.
This is where we play a game. Does Jimmy know who Henry Hill is?
I knew of the name, and then I ended up doing a little bit of research and found out. Yeah.
So he is, of course, the Ray Liotta guy from Goodfellas, the character that Ray Liotta played in Goodfellas. Henry Hill, the former New York mobster. The film he wrote the story Goodfellas, and they turned it into a movie. He's now I know him from Howard Stern show. He used to be on Howard Stern show all the time.
That's what I actually knew him most from.
And what a train wreck of a dude he was, huh? Mm-hmm. I mean, you would think that the guy who had made it through the mob, got out, witness protection program, or whatever the hell it was that he was in, had a big Hollywood movie made. You'd think he'd have some money and he'd be able to, maybe keep it together. But no, that dude did not have one thing together. He was always... No. He'd be talking to Howard Stern at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he's drunk. He's on something. It's just a real train wreck of a guy. Henry Hill, the mobster turned FBI informant who inspired the iconic gangster movie Goodfellas, has died at the age of 69. According to his girlfriend, Hill's eventual life, which included stints in jail and the witness protection program, was immortalized in the book Wise Guy and famously portrayed by Ray Liotta in Martin Scorsese's Oscar-nominated movie Goodfellas. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And you look back in history, Oscar-nominated movie. I need to find out what won for best movie in that year, because Goodfellas is certainly an iconic film of the gangster genre in America, probably second only to the original Godfather. And I will tell you that it's better than the Godfather. I think Goodfellas is the best movie I've ever seen. It's my favorite movie of all time. I've seen it 100 times. I mean, it's just a fantastic film. But what won? What beat it?
I would almost be
Shakespeare in Love, some crap like that.
I'd be reluctant to look because it's not going to live up to it.
Okay, here we go.
No, you're going to.
Isn't this what Wikipedia is for?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those things that's aggravating when you find out, because I know it's just going to be one of those ones where you're like, geez, where did that come from?
Yeah, probably something English, because that's the thing about Oscar voters. They have no view of what history is going to do with these films. They're only in the moment. So if it's got a fancy, snooty English person, they'll get all the votes.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to look for Goodfellas. All right, we're going to start out with that. I love Wikipedia. What did I do before Wikipedia?
There's this really cool thing. I forget what they actually call it, but it's all of Wikipedia downloaded into like a small, what looks like an old PDA thing. But this thing basically holds all of the information from it for basically let's say the electricity goes out for like a long period of time or something like that. You got everything in Wikipedia right there.
Everything.
And
it's
it's actually crank powered and everything. So.
All right, we found it. Oh man.
For all your end of the world needs.
Okay, here it was. It was 1990, okay? And here were the films that were nominated for Best Picture in 1990. You ready?
Okay.
Yeah, Goodfellas. Interestingly enough, Godfather Part 3. I have no idea. Godfather Part 3 is a terrible movie. It is a piece of trash. Godfather purists don't even acknowledge that as part of Godfather 1 and 2.
I have heard that. It's a lot like Star Wars 1.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Episode 1.
Something wrong with Star Wars 1?
Everyone seems to hate Episode 1 because of Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, that's right. It's confusing. The first Star Wars from 1977,
right.
Star Wars, is not what you're talking about.
No.
You're talking about the
Episode
reboot
1,
from about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
All right, so here were the movies. Goodfellas, Godfather Part 2, Ghost. God, Ghost is another stupid movie. Really? That's what you want 1990 to be remembered as? A Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze movie?
It was a Whoopi Goldberg movie?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Whoopi Goldberg, Patrick Swayze, and Demi Moore. Ghost. Stupid. Awakenings. Remember Awakenings? I think that was Penny Marshall. And then Dances with Wolves.
Kevin Costner.
Got a guess on which one won the best Oscar, best film?
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves won. Yeah. And that movie, I have never seen all the way through.
I haven't either. I just know that there was always jokes around that one.
25 minutes in, I'm like, this is the most boring movie I have ever seen in my life. I honestly, I wanted to. This is 1990. This is when I was trying to be all, into like what's good and, artistic and alternative music and all that stuff. And I couldn't get through Dances with Wolves. I was like, this is awful.
Aren't the Oscars all kind of just that snooty thing? I've always thought of the Oscars as being like the hipsters of the group, where like if it was really good, then they want nothing to do with it. Right. They want the one that no one else watched.
Yes, they want the no, not entirely true. You sort of like that. It's the same sort of bias that the Oscar voters have, but they're old. It's old people who want class and want, all that. So that's why English films are always nominated. That's why, there's always like someone with an accent in the best actor and best actress category. Someone named Lady someone or, Sir someone is always nominated. And that's crap. That doesn't necessarily make it better. For instance, in 1991, the next year, Beauty and the Beast was nominated. The animated movie, Beauty and the Beast. Bugsy, JFK, and The Prince of Tides, and Silence of the Lambs. Do you know who the winner was?
Silence of the Lambs.
Now they got that one right.
Okay, good.
The Oscars got that one right, because out of all of those movies, and I've seen all of them, by far The Silence of the Lambs is the best film.
Yeah, especially on acid.
Favorite scary horror movie of all time. Actually, not true. Second favorite scary horror movie of all time is Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Number one, interested? The Shining. The original Stanley Kubrick Shining. Ooh, that movie is scary.
Yeah.
All right, why not keep going? 1992. Crying Game, A Few Good Men, Howard's End. See, Howard's End and The Crying Game are two examples of those English movies that they love. Scent of a Woman. Hoo-wah. That was a good movie. You see Scent of a Woman?
No.
No?
I saw A Few Good Men, though.
Few Good Men's a good movie.
So I'm going to go with that one.
No, Unforgiven. Unforgiven one. Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman, I think Morgan Freeman. And then, just running down some of these winners here. I'll quickly run. Why not? I got all the 90s here. 93, Schindler's List won. You ever seen that?
No. I just assumed I wouldn't like that one.
Yeah, too depressing.
Yeah.
I don't do Holocaust. Sorry.
No. I'll do documentaries because it's always kind of interesting, but I'm not going down that road.
I won't even do World War II documentaries that even touch on the Holocaust.
Really?
I have a pretty good idea of what went on. I don't need to see it depicted on film.
So you're the reason, like, the History Channel had to switch over to doing nothing but pawn shop stories because that's all they did.
I probably am.
Yeah.
Look at me. Yeah. It's like I rail against it, but, I'm probably the reason. No, not because I won't watch Schindler's List. No, I'll watch other history things. I just think that war stuff is played out.
Yeah.
I can't handle war stuff anymore. When I was a kid, I used to love it, man. I used to, it was probably around the time, when did I get tired of it? Saving Private Ryan. That was it. That was the last, war movie that I went and saw. That I would, because it was and that was greatness. Saving Private Ryan was fantastic. But
end on a high note. Because, that was a really good one, And the thing about Saving Private Ryan is that it had a lot of, cool action things in between it. Schindler's List seemed like it was going to be a downer all the way through.
All the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there were, too many, real laugh-out-loud moments during Saving Private Ryan, but...
It's about a dude who had a list of names of Jews that he was protecting from being cooked or killed or whatever they were doing. No, I don't want to see that. I'm sorry. Not interested.
This doesn't end well. I'm just going to assume.
It's a downer. And it's Liam Neeson. No offense to Liam Neeson, but I can't take that dude on screen. Did you ever notice he plays the exact same character in every movie he's ever done, even if he's not doing an English accent? Mm-hmm. Even in movies where he's got an American accent, he's still playing the same freaking character.
Yeah.
He's like Tom Cruise in that regard. Tom Cruise.
True.
No matter what Tom Cruise does, this is a fun little game that we made up with Tom Cruise years ago, and it has stayed true over the last 20 years. Every role that Tom Cruise takes on, he is the best at doing something. He is the best.
That is true.
What every Tom Cruise movie, since he became a star, since he began able to pick his own scripts, everything he does, he is the best at it.
Yep.
Days of Thunder, he's the best young stock car driver. Cocktails, he's the best bartender going. Mission Impossible, he is the best super spy out there.
I now envision Tom Cruise having 6 people in front of him with all different types of scripts, and they're like, "So I got one. Am I the best?
Am I the best? All right, Tom, I got it. You're going to play a janitor. But ho, slow down. You're the best janitor
all right.
in the entire company.
You stay. What do you got?"
All right, I like that. Well, I had another script. You were a janitor, but you were just a regular janitor. Get out of here. I'm going with the guy who's making me the best janitor of all time. I'm Tom Cruise.
The second guy flips through. We can change that. You can start out as the best.
Well, what? That I'm not the best at the end of the movie? No, I got to be the best all the way through. And what would the conflict be, Tom, in the script? Dealing with being the best. There's a lot of conflict there.
It's hard being at the top. It's lonely.
It's hard being the best. I mean, the cocktail, really? He's the best flair bartender. You're the best. You're the best at everything you do, Tom Cruise. Every movie you're in, you're the best. All right. Schindler's List, we didn't like that. Forrest Gump won in 1994. We're running down a list of movies that won the Oscar, because I couldn't believe Goodfellas didn't win the Oscar in 1990. Of course, this is all about Henry Hill dying today at 69. We're at 1994. All right, here are your choices. This is a good one. 1994 might be the best lineup of movies that were nominated for Best Oscar that I've seen. All right, here's what you got. Shawshank Redemption.
Saw it.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Quiz Show.
Did not see it.
Fantastic. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I bet you'd find that interesting. It's about the early days of television and how they rigged a game show.
Okay.
It was a true story based on how they rigged a national game show so that one dude looked like he was the smartest dude going. It was all a big scam.
I am downloading it now.
How about this one? Pulp Fiction.
Yes, I definitely saw that.
Come on. Yeah, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption quiz show.
I want to know what a $5 milkshake tastes like.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that in 1994 that Pulp Fiction didn't win for Best Film isn't quite as hard to swallow when you see what did win for Best Film. Because you're like, man, it was just tough competition. All of these movies could have been spread out throughout the 90s and could have individually won their year. But for some reason, they're all grouped together.
You would have said it was a great decade in movies if that was all that came out.
Yeah, but 1994 is a great year for movies. Shawshank Redemption, Quiz Show, Pulp Fiction, Four Weddings and a Funeral, which is different than the other ones, but that's a good movie too. That's a really, if you got to watch a movie with a girl or something, Four Weddings and a Funeral is a pretty entertaining movie. The winner, Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump was greatness.
Yeah.
That was filmmaking art. That was a fantastic story. Everything about Forrest Gump was terrific. Everything about Pulp Fiction was terrific. Everything about Shawshank Redemption is terrific. Everything about Quiz Show is terrific. That's a great year.
Who's your number 2 there?
It would go Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank, Quiz Show, Four Weddings and a Funeral.
I'm going Shawshank number 2.
Number 2 over Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
History is telling me that Shawshank Redemption is a great movie, but Pulp Fiction changed and influenced the way films were made for years and years. So the most impactful film in here was Pulp Fiction. I mean, Pulp Fiction was essentially shot like an indie film that was backed by a major studio, and it took the indie film genre to a whole nother level. It's the reason that we have all of these indie films now is because of the early work of Quentin Tarantino. So historically speaking, Pulp Fiction was incredibly important. Let's see here. Braveheart, that was the next year.
It's good.
That was good. Braveheart, Apollo 13, Babe. Babe, the pig movie.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
That one wins, right?
No, Braveheart won.
What?
Have you seen Braveheart?
No.
Oh, man. That's
I saw Apollo 13.
Braveheart.
I don't like Mel Gibson. I never did.
I don't either anymore, but I liked him back then.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't like him even then. I always got him and Kevin Costner mixed up, and I was always I was Team Costner.
Why were they against each other?
In my mind, they were constantly competing, and then Costner kind of went away.
All right. Here, this is crap. This is total crap. Ready for 1998? The Thin Red Line. Have you ever seen that? Don't waste your time. I saw that in the movies, and I left after a half hour. It was like the worst, slowest, lamest thing. Thin Red Line is the movie that made me go, all right, I'm out on war movies. I'm not watching war movies anymore. And that's what Thin Red Line was that. Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, greatness.
Yeah.
Movie was greatness. And see, Thin Red Line came out after Saving Private Ryan. And everybody was, after Private Ryan, everybody was like, war movie, let's get a war movie. And it's like, killed me. Done with the genre. Okay, Life is Beautiful. Remember this one?
No.
Yeah, you remember the dude, Roberto Benigni, the Italian actor who won, and he went crazy when he won, and he jumped up on the chair. He did all. Remember that? He became famous for like a little while because nobody's heard of him since.
I think vaguely, yeah, I do remember.
With the glasses, like he was weird. He was like a real life Borat character, and he legitimately won an Oscar.
Yeah,
that's what Life Was Beautiful was. Elizabeth. Which I don't know if you've ever seen.
Gwyneth Paltrow with the Queen?
No. Kate
Winslet?
No.
Hudson?
No.
Middleton?
Never mind. Kate, I can't think of her name. Anyway, a famous English Kate. Elizabeth is brilliant. That is an awesome movie. If you like medieval stuff, that was an awesome movie. It was about the first Queen Elizabeth. Elizabethan era, England. That was awesome. And the winner for that year, over Saving Private Ryan, okay? Shakespeare in Love. The biggest piece of crap Oscar winner in the history of the Oscars. That movie was fine. You want to sit and you want to watch a little something? It's fine. It ain't the best picture of the year. It was a completely C-grade movie. And it won. Why? Because it was a reboot of Shakespeare. And we Oscar voters, we are really into Shakespeare.
Yeah.
So we're going to give anything with the name Shakespeare in it an Oscar, because that will make us look more cultured. Because look, we're not giving away the golden Oscar trophy to war movies, or we're giving it Shakespeare. Shakespeare won this year. Crap. And then we round out the 90s with American Beauty, which won in 1999.
That was good.
American Beauty was greatness. Yes, greatness. But American Beauty beat The Sixth Sense, Cider House Rules, which was awesome. Have you ever seen Cider House Rules? That's a great movie. That is a great story. And The Green Mile.
Oh, wow. Sixth Sense and Green Mile are both good movies.
Yeah, Sixth Sense is good. Cider House Rules is good. The Green Mile is good. The Insider, which is also in here. I don't know why it's not. I think it's the Russell Crowe movie. Let's see what this is.
I don't know. I don't recall The Insider at all.
Yep.
But The Green Mile, though, was great. And so was The Sixth Sense, man. Both of those are great movies. That was a good year for movies as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. So Henry Hill is dead at 69. They didn't win the Oscar for Best Picture, although they should have. Dances with Wolves won. Yeah. Henry Hill died today. Goodfellas, in my opinion, one of the best movies. Well, I call it my favorite movie of all time.
Don't you feel like Henry Hill? Can we talk about Henry Hill for like a minute?
Yeah, we already did, but yeah, come on.
Don't you feel like Henry Hill? Well,
That's how we got into this whole thing.
It's a different topic, though, sort of. Don't you feel like Henry Hill killed the whole mob thing by the fact that you're supposed to get, if you do what he did, you should be dead, and the fact that he went around alive for so many years in the media pretty much ruined the whole myth of you don't ever snitch?
No, because it was more difficult. He figured out something that he became public. He became high profile and in the public, which meant that it was more difficult to whack him because he was so high profile. So he kind of went the other way. You could go into witness protection, you can hide under a rock for your entire life, or you can write a big movie, become famous for writing the big movie, and then become untouchable because you're so high profile. I think you're missing
my point, though. As far as in the mob world, though, don't you feel like he really, the whole never snitched, and here's a guy that went out and snitched and was public about it.
No.
And you don't think it did any kind of damage?
No, dude, I grew up in a mob area. No, the mob is doing fine.
Okay. Right. So you were scared?
Yeah, well,
good,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, especially like, I got a story about a party we went to once that we got the hell out of there really quick because it was
all mobbed up.
Yeah, it was all mobbed up, like 18-year-old mobsters. That's the worst kind. The kids of mobsters.
They want to prove their point.
They're all making their bones, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're 16, it's just testosterone. You're getting all like, I'm gonna be a dude. Mm-hmm. You ever have a gun?
No.
Never had a gun?
No. Well, I got one now, right? But I didn't have one then.
Never had pistols when we were kids?
Never shot a gun.
No.
All right.
You've never shot a gun?
Nope.
Really? It's fun. You should go shoot. It's fun.
Yeah, I definitely will. I mean, I just want to find like an open area where I can take a shotgun out.
No, go to a range.
Yeah.
Go to a range. Get a friend who's got a lot of guns, and then have him take you to the range and play with all of his guns.
I got a Red Ryder BB gun you can pull out in the backyard right now.
Nice.
Hit the bottle.
Seriously.
Go shoot a possum or something. All right, we need a break. We'll be back. More douche of the day tournament we'll get into. Also, we got a watch list. We'll talk about TV, all that stuff. It's all coming up here on thebarlive.com. PMS for a Wednesday afternoon on thebarlive.com. It's PMS for a Wednesday afternoon, the Pugs Moran Show on thebarlive.com. Bar Live, you're a one-stop shop for all things, you can go to thebarlive.com, you can find the podcast, you can find links to the Facebook page, you can do all that kind of stuff there at thebarlive.com. Later today from 4 to 6, we'll be featuring on thebarlive.com YNR Radio. You're never right. Radio, right here with the boys, Austin, Joey, Patrick.
Sure, the nicest guys on radio, they say.
Is that what they call themselves? The nicest guys on radio?
The nicest guys on radio.
The good kids. The good kids will be coming in here doing their good kid radio. All right, a bunch of things we're going to have to get to today. We're running out of time here, so let's try and squeeze a whole bunch in. We're going to have the bath salt story of the day. That's something that seems to be popping up every day.
Okay.
We'll get into our douche tournament, but first I want to do a little food porn here. Whenever a fast food or a restaurant comes out with some kind of food, I'm always very intrigued as to what it must be like. You know, I think back to the days when McDonald's introduced the McDLT. Anyone remember the McDLT? Hot side's hot, cold side's cold. Everybody remember that?
No.
Really?
No.
That was my favorite McDonald's hamburger of all time.
Wow.
The McDLT.
What happened?
People, you want to know what happened?
Uh-huh.
You know, the green thinking, you know, people worried about the environment, got all up in their business.
What was this made out of?
Well, here's the thing. Homeless carcass. It was a McDonald's hamburger, and the whole concept was when you got the hamburger, the lettuce and tomato and all of that stuff was kept cold on one side of the packaging, while the burger and the cheese and the buns were kept warm on the other side. McDLT, hot side's hot, cold side's cold. That was their slogan.
Oh.
And it was really good because you would open it up and you'd be like, yeah, but the cold, it was good. It wasn't, because the thing that I hate about hamburgers is when, like, you know, they've sat for a while and the lettuce is wilted, you know, it's not
kind of soggy.
Yeah, it's not crispy. You know, the hot side's hot, cold side's cold. You made sure that you had crispy lettuce and you had a nice crisp tomato and all. It was good. But
packaging.
in order to do that, they had to make the packaging like really big. So it was almost the size of one of those early CD cases. Remember the early CDs?
Oh.
How long they were?
Yeah.
Well, they were long because there was one side was a hamburger and on the other side was, you know, and the lid came down. And of course, it was all styrofoam. So it was McDonald's was basically McDonald's got pressure to do something about the packaging because it was just so much styrofoam that, you know, it wasn't good. And it was a popular burger and everybody was buying it. And so people started getting all up in arms. And McDonald's said, well, you know what? There's no way to really do the hot side's hot, cold side's cold without the packaging. So we're just going to get rid of the hamburger.
Oh, man. That's so sad. Maybe they should have made it to where it's like an indoor type thing where you don't get to leave with it. But if you want an indoor.
The secret menu at McDonald's.
No, come on, it was cool. Hot side's hot, cold side's cold.
You've said that like 10 times in the last. You like that, don't you?
Effective advertising. 20 years ago, and I still can remember it.
And once again, what was it again?
The McDLT.
No, but what is it? It's hot and cold?
It's hot side's hot, cold side's cold. Okay. And of course, the McDLT is for lettuce and tomato. So a really nice, crisp piece of lettuce and tomato for your burger. All right, at any rate.
Somebody's been applying for jobs lately.
No, I'm just reminiscing about the best damn fast food burger that I ever had.
Please drive through.
All right, here's the latest one. Burger King. We're talking about Burger King and how scumbaggy Burger King is.
They have been extra scumbaggy lately.
Why do y'all say that?
They're always dirty. They're the dirtiest of the fast food
I don't
restaurants.
like them. I think they're the low end of the chain.
They didn't. They weren't always. They used to be a more high-end burger than McDonald's.
Before McDonald's got the big playgrounds, I was all about the BK because they got the little crown. They give you the little crown you can get. When you get there, you always got a crown.
20 years ago, Burger King was a different entity than it is now. Burger King has not fared well in the fast food wars, but they were a higher-end version of McDonald's. They flame broiled their burgers, which is something that McDonald's didn't do, which I prefer the taste to fried. I like it flame broiled. And they also, if you remember, their big slogan was, you have it your way. Any way you want on that burger, you can have it. At McDonald's, you can get it, but you always have to wait and you pull aside. At Burger King, because they made the burgers fresh, you could have it your way. Have it your way at Burger King. Yeah,
I always preferred they have a rodeo cheeseburger that comes out ever so often. I don't know why they.
Yeah, they got that.
At Burger King?
Yeah, like 6 months out of the year, they have the rodeo cheeseburger.
Well, in the last few years, the last decade or so, Burger King is just, I have not been into a Burger King restaurant where I've gone, oh, this place smells like cleaning products. No. Every time I walk into one, the floor is sticky and the bathrooms are, I mean, they're awful.
Yeah, I agree.
They're terrible.
The problem I have with Burger King is that about a year ago, they put out a press release saying, hey, look, we're about to really upgrade the look of Burger King. And because of that, we're going to come out with more expensive stuff. And it's like, okay, well, maybe if you're going to make better quality stuff, it's going to be more expensive.
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that. What did you say?
They put out a press release about a year ago saying that they're going to...
That's what this is about.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like they're trying to move towards this like nicer thing.
Higher end. They're trying to get back to the higher end market.
And I've seen what they've done with some of these places, and it's the exact same Burger King experience that I had before this press release.
Look, the Burger King that I've gone to, and I've only been to a Burger King once in the last 6 months. It's the Burger King that's right by my house by Love Field.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's probably a bad one.
It's the worst. It is the worst. I mean, it is not. I know what Burger King tastes like. So when I bite into my Whopper and I go, it tastes weird. That's not a good thing for fast food. It's supposed to be the exact same thing. If I ordered a Whopper in Dallas, it should be the same as if I ordered a Whopper in L.A. It's supposed to be the same. I have never had a burger that tastes the same twice. The problem at that particular location, it's just weird. There's something weird about it. Mm-hmm. And then it kills my appetite because I'm like, oh, it was dirty when I walked in. What is this foreign taste? Oh, I can't. So I'm totally turned off to the idea of Burger King because of that Love Field Burger King.
I know the exact one that you're talking about because when I was working at the
it's
station
like Cedar
there,
Springs and Mockingbird or something like that.
Yeah. It's like right in that little
Maybe
area.
Maple and Mockingbird, somewhere right there.
I would have two decisions on how I would get to the station in the morning. One way, I would stop by McDonald's, and I would usually go that route, have McDonald's breakfast on the way in. But every once in a while, I'll be like, McDonald's every day. Maybe I should change things up a bit and go by Burger King. Every single time, I regretted that decision.
I know.
Because like, not only would I get into the drive-thru and talk to them, and they'd be angry with me because I've pulled in, so like that's part of it.
They're not a nice Burger King.
No.
They're not.
And then I feel guilty because I'm trying to get some breakfast in the morning. And at the time, this is 4 o'clock in the morning. I was doing the morning show.
I'm not lying to you. The girl that worked the drive-thru, okay, she had a teardrop tattoo on her cheek and a full-on gold grill. It was off-putting.
And I would imagine a look like you could be the next drive-thru person that you.
Hey, at least she's successful though. I mean, the teardrop means she killed somebody. The grill means she had the money to buy a grill. So hey, pretty good one.
I don't want that person up front greeting the public if I own a business.
The best part about Burger King, though, was their commercials about 5 years ago when they had that scary, creepy Burger King guy that didn't talk.
Yeah.
That was a cool commercial.
No, see, I think that's what really harmed them. I thought that was a terrible ad campaign where the Burger King was like stalking people. And it wasn't it wasn't a cute Burger King. It was a scary, weird, plastic-looking Burger King that was just turning up. It was a horrible ad campaign. Horrible.
Because I associate my walk-in experience at Burger King with sticky everywhere.
Sticky everywhere.
So you add that with a creepy guy standing at your window.
No.
I'm not hungry.
And a teardrop tattoo and the gold grill glaring at me in the drive-thru.
I'll tell you, Jack in the Box has got the advertisement market down. They roll this without a doubt. Jack
does good.
I like everything about the dude. My favorite commercial of all time, I'll never forget, of all time, is they're at a trade show and there's 2 guys on lawn chairs like, what are you doing? He goes, food consultant. You sold anyone? He's like, I just got to sell one. He's like $25,000. Anyway, we'll move on. But great commercial. Jack in the Box.
Well, I don't remember that. I was listening. I was trying to get. Okay.
It was 2 guys at a trade show for businesses. And Jack is walking around getting ideas for Jack in the Box.
Right.
He sees these 2 kind of like slacker kind of guys, like Beavis and Butthead types, at a trade show sitting on lawn chairs. There's nothing in their booth but these 2 guys. And they go, what are you guys? He goes, food consultant. He goes, what's it cost? $25,000. And he's like, just got to sell one.
You are right. The Jack in the Box does good. They have good ad campaigns.
Great ad campaigns.
I like the I like the character of Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's a likable guy.
He's what is he? What is Jack? It's a dude in a suit, but then his head.
It's a ping pong ball.
And his head is like one of those. It's not animated or anything. It's a real. I'm saying it like this because I know I have friends in Chicago who are listening. And they don't have Jack in the Box commercials, so they probably don't know who Jack is.
Oh yeah,
Jack is like he's the guy. He's the guy that owns Jack in the Box, and he's kind of like a Dave, at Wendy's, but he's like a puppet or something.
What he has an oversized round head with very little a mouth that's just a line, a couple eyes.
Here's what he is. Here's what he is. You take a Jack in the Box. The thing that pops out of the Jack in the Box is what's on the suit. The guy walking around in a suit has the Jack in the Box head.
Do you remember when they blew up the Jack in the Box? They blew it up like 20 years ago. They had a big ordeal about how they just got rid of it and blew it up.
No.
Yeah.
I used to. We had Jack in the Box in Chicago for a number of years, and then around 1980 it went away.
That's crazy to think that they don't have those in Chicago, Jack in the Box.
Salmonella. Everybody got sick.
Really?
Oh yeah, they had
Jack in the Box.
They had bad Jack in the Box. What got run out of town because they had one.
They got all jacked up.
Yeah, people got sick on Jack in the Box food, and still the idea in Chicago among people. I've had this when friends come down here, and I'm like, oh, you got to go to Jack in the Box because I always like to turn people on to the local cuisine, and unfortunately here in Dallas it's fast food.
Right.
Whataburger, Jack in the Box, stuff like that. Barbecue, but still the idea of people up there when it's so ingrained in their head that Jack in the Box. The way we were talking about Burger King is the way Jack in the Box is thought of up there because people got sick.
Plus salmonella, yeah.
Plus salmonella, yeah. They got sick and they got run out of business. But Burger King, here at the little food porn segment, they're unveiling a new lineup. This is a press release that is in step with what Jimmy was saying. Their desire to be more upscale. Here's what it says. Let's see here. Burger King wants to lure customers this summer with a barbecue party and a bacon sundae. The world's second biggest hamburger chain on Thursday is launching several pork, beef, and chicken sandwiches as limited time offers. As for a sweet ending, the company is also offering a bacon sundae. It's vanilla soft serve with fudge, caramel, bacon crumbles, and a piece of bacon.
Yeah.
The salty sweet dessert clocks in at 510 calories, 18 grams of fat, and 61 grams of sugar. I love bacon. I love sundaes. That sounds awful. This move that we've seen in the last couple of years to incorporate bacon into everything. I've seen Jones Soda has a bacon soda, bacon sundae. I mean,
I'm pretty sure it was China's idea. They just floated the idea over.
Trying to get us even fatter.
Yeah, make sure that we just take care of ourselves.
Yeah, it's a war.
Yeah, we're sending you viruses. How's your bacon?
Yeah, it sounds horrible. Bacon, any kind of meat on a frozen product does not sound tasty.
Doesn't sound good at all.
No,
it sounds terrible. Earlier this year, Burger King launched its biggest ever menu expansion, including fruit smoothies, snack wraps, and new salads. The items were intended to go after a broader audience of moms and families, a shift from the chain's previous strategy of courting young men with calorie bombs. Core menu items such as French fries, and by the way, Burger King, your French fries, don't even sell French fries. Don't even sell them.
No.
Your French fries blow.
Their onion rings are good, though.
Yes, they are. And that should be the Burger King staple. Burger King should be a place you go for onion rings, not French fries, because anyone who puts a Burger King French fry in their mouth who has ever had a McDonald's French fry is going to be like, you guys suck. You guys are doing something wrong.
They used to do this thing. Used to be on really big on YouTube where they would soda bomb the person at the drive-through.
Yeah.
Just throw it right back at them. That's what the normal thing should be at Burger King with the fries.
Just throw those damn fries
those
back
things
at
are
them.
useless.
Get them out of here.
Make it like a new floor or something in there, less sticky.
It wouldn't be so bad if they didn't have the balls to charge you for them. If the fries just came with your burger, that'd be one thing.
But they go to Tots.
Tater tots are good. I like the tater tots at Sonic.
Yeah.
See, Sonic knows ain't going to compete with McDonald's French fries, so they offer you a little something different.
I like that in your Burger King, they would just dangle the fries out. Do you want these? No, you don't want them
You
either.
just got the best fries. Jack in the Box or seasoned curly fries are the best kind of fries you can get out there. You're right.
Look, this isn't even anything that's worthy of debate. It's McDonald's. McDonald's French fries are the greatest French fries on the planet. There have never been a better French fry ever than a piping hot red large box of McDonald's French fries. Oh my God, those are so good. They don't need anything. They don't need salt. They don't need ketchup. They're just delicious.
No, because they already have a can of salt on them.
Right, yeah. They're deep fried in salt.
I don't have to add more
that's
salt.
Our food porn is we have nasty ass sundaes available at Burger King.
Yeah, a bacon sundae.
Gross.
That is I mean, I would try it. I mean, bring one, put it in front of me. I'll try it. That's fine. Not a big deal.
Maybe I'll try my cooking segment.
Yeah, bacon.
Mine'll be turkey bacon though. I
mean, is it one of those weird things? Because this happens all the time at state fairs, where they'll have some weird delicacy that they've created, and they'll always like, "Oh, try it. You'll like it," and then you'll taste it, and you'll be like, "Okay, yeah, that's not terrible at all." But what is left out of that is that almost no one, oh no, that's really good. I mean, it's not something that you want all the time. I'm not going to get a bacon sundae every time I go to Burger King.
It's just something to try, like fried Oreos or something. I mean,
it's
fried Twinkies. You got to try it because it's cool.
It's a novelty.
Yeah.
Last year I went to the state fair and I got a fried Frito pie. It wasn't bad, but not one time since I've had a Frito pie since then I said, oh, I should really fry this into a pocket. Like, I never said that.
Make this better? Yeah. All right, here we go. Now we're moving on to the bath salt story of the day. Every day it seems that we've got a new story regarding someone tripping out on bath salts. Of course, this all started with the Miami Beach cannibal or a zombie. What is he, a zombie or a cannibal? A little bit of both, right?
A pave maker.
He's a zombie cannibal,
yes.
Right? And then yesterday we had the bath salt story about the guy who also in Miami was trying to get with 3-year-old kids at a playground. He was on bath salts. Well, this one comes out of Munnsville, which is in Madison County in central New York State. It says a Madison County woman allegedly high on drugs is dead after assaulting her child and receiving a taser shock while she struggled with police. According to state police, around 7:45 p.m. Tuesday, troopers were called to an apartment on North Main Street in the village of Munnsville for a report of a woman assaulting her 3-year-old child. While police were responding to the scene, they say Madison County 911 dispatchers received several follow-up reports that the woman was punching and choking the child and had started to attack her neighbor. When police arrived, they said they found 35-year-old Pamela McCarthy apparently under the influence of bath salts, an illegal synthetic drug. Police say Trooper Christopher Budlong attempted to arrest McCarthy, who was violently combative, according to police, and resisted attempts to handcuff her. Budlong used his police-issue pepper spray on McCarthy to no effect. So he then deployed his taser and was able to handcuff McCarthy with the help of rescue personnel. Police say that after McCarthy was taken into custody, she went into cardiac arrest. She was taken by ambulance to Oneida Healthcare, where she later died. All right. This seems to be something that is common in some of the bath salt stories that we've heard. Jimmy, unexplained superhuman strength. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is a 35-year-old woman. Cops are wrestling with her. They can't get her under control. It was the same with the cannibal dude.
It has the same effects as like a PCP in that way, where you can just you're basically inhuman.
So it just charges up your motor. Your motor just keeps moving, regardless.
Mm-hmm. You're all incredible hooked out.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Just your motor is going, and it's not going to be shut off until you get shut off permanently.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you have it.
Now, did she take off her clothes in this?
Nah, doesn't say anything about that. Just says she was beating up her 3-year-old, which, are you kidding me? A 3-year-old? My son is 3 years old.
Yeah.
You can't beat up a 3-year-old. You beat up a 3-year-old. I mean,
they don't put up much of a fight.
They put up no fight.
Yeah.
They put up no fight. Although I have been kicked in the face many times by my 3-year-old. And so when they want to put up a fight, they will. But that is just absolutely awful. Terrible story. But that's our bath salt story of the day.
Now, are they sure that it's bath salts? Because usually bath salts will make you incredibly hot, and then you get to really do the bath salt routine of taking off your clothes and then raging at people.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping is going to turn into the stereotype of bath salt people.
Can I get a good bath salt story? Can I get a story about someone who did bath salts and was like, oh man, I saw the sky split wide open. I saw a face of a god staring at me, telling me that everything was going to be fine and that I just need to find my place in life and that I'll always be there for him. You never hear that story about someone tripping on bath salts.
No, the thing that actually is perking my interest at this point now is...
So now you're going to try bath salts. I can tell.
Oh, no, definitely not. I'm not going to try
Sam the
bath salts.
mailman's face.
Yes.
That's what you're going to do.
No, I'm definitely not going to be trying bath salts. But I think that this is the problem that I have with these people that are still trying them, though, is that this lady, I would imagine she's in a well-connected area of New York where she has access to the internet. She's probably heard about this zombie person and still took the bath salts.
Well, she probably did bath salts before, and she didn't beat up her 3-year-old.
Right.
And so,
Huh. I haven't actually met anybody that's actually done bath salts, so I need to find one of these people.
We need to find somebody.
Yeah. Maybe put out an ad on Craigslist.
But I'll tell you, from all these stories, it's not even the kind of... Like, in the past, when new drugs have popped up and they've been legal, because they're not illegal yet... we've had people do them in studio. James and Eric, they were always down to try anything.
Right.
I don't know that I'd want to do that with bath salts.
Nope, not interested.
Sounds like people go crazy. Sounds like they go nuts and you can't control them.
Is this like bath salt you buy at the store?
No.
Jimmy, what is it? I don't know what it is.
No, it's like a synthetic concoction that they put together for the sole purpose of taking it, and so like they try to push it off like as a bath salt, kind of like some of the fake weed will be pushed off as incense, but it's not really for that. So yeah,
Okay.
most people probably know that.
How do you buy it? It is legal, right?
Sometimes I'll have it at head shops. So I would imagine that with this bad PR campaign, they aren't there anymore.
Yeah,
So-
you know what? Look, head shops, you can't be doing this stuff. You're not helping the cause of what you are, which
Yeah.
is basically a hobby store, which is what head shops are.
Druggies.
You're not helping the cause by making these kinds of things available, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that in most cases, it's one of those things where they keep on getting tons and tons of this weird product in, and there churns demand. Like this K2 stuff that was going on for a very long time made you feel a lot like you were stoned, but it just tasted like crap. I mean, like, it was the worst taste ever. But when people were coming in, constantly asking for this stuff, you're probably pressured into it.
But no, but that's where you've got to be responsible, especially
Yeah.
if you're in a business like the head shop business, where you've got one or two shops right now, but you're hoping that this legalization thing will go through, and maybe in a couple of years you'll have 20 or 25 shops because it'll be legal. You've got to be looking at the long game here, not the short term.
You gotta realize that if you want to help be in business and not be shut down
right.
or be rated, a quick buck isn't worth it. You know what I mean?
Nope.
The
Oh, I
small
totally agree.
battle you're going to win is not going to help you win the war.
That's right. It's only going to make it look bad. It's going to make you look like a bad business person. It's going to make you look like somebody who's not doing anything that's for the community. You can't do that. And I always get upset too when I walk into these stores, these convenience stores. Usually they're like the real low end ones that are independent, and there's like some dude behind the counter of some indistinguishable nationality, and you don't even know what he is. And they sell those crack pipes with roses in them.
Right.
I always get the same way. I'm like, I always want to be like, what are you doing, you scumbag? Well, you know what these are used for. Why are you offering these? Why are you giving crackheads a place to come so that they can buy their disposable crack pipes? Because that's what those things are.
Yeah.
You walk into a place and you see the long stem with the rose in it. They're selling it as it's a cover. It's not really, you throw the rose out and you smoke your crack out of it.
Although they do make, after you smoke weed out of it for a little bit, they make for a nice one hitter. So
Do they?
Yeah.
So you've used them for that?
yeah, I remember I bought it one time, and the guy was like, he looked at me really weird because I was obviously somewhat stoned, and he was like, "Huh, I don't know what you're gonna be using this for." I was like, I'm gonna have to break it in apparently, but get a little screen in there. Good one hitter.
Good one hitter.
Yeah.
All right, very nice. All right, let's move into our douche tournament today, okay? First one we're going to be focusing on. This comes a young star-crossed couple in love who had themselves a bit of a throwdown after last Thursday night's Boston Celtics lost to the Miami Heat. Here's the story. Massachusetts college student is facing criminal charges after admitting he assaulted his girlfriend with a pair of jeans covered in wasabi sauce. An attack that the man claims was prompted when some dude she slept with in school was texting her. All right, I'm going to set the story for you. So the Boston Celtics lose to the Miami Heat, so they're already in a bad mood.
Okay.
And they're driving back from the bar, and the girl gets a text from some dude in school that she slept with, and the boyfriend goes nuts. First of all, how does he know? All right, I have never, ever said to someone I was with, "Who's that texting you? Who's that texting?" You know what I mean?
I actively look away from their phone at all times.
None of your business.
Yeah.
If they want to be shady, let them be shady.
If
I'm
you're
not going to be
feeling insecure or wondering about things, you had enough, you might say that though.
right.
I get questioned all the time, so
But it's
I would.
dude. Dude, why do you think you get questioned all the time?
And for his girlfriend might be a ho-ho, so he's questioning her.
Right,
had enough.
Right, but he shouldn't. You can't play that game. You can't let her think that this is. She wants to do that. Let her go do that.
And the Celtics just lost.
He's immature. He's an immature kid, and this is how an immature kid handles this. John McGinnis, 22, and his girlfriend were returning early from Barnstable Bar, where they had watched the Celtics game, when the woman received the text, and the ensuing argument continued until the woman dropped McGinnis off at his home. Oh, so she was driving. Yeah, he's got it all worked up. He goes out and gets drunk. He makes her drive,
Yeah.
right? That's a 22-year-old relationship.
Yep, that was mine.
Yeah.
It worked out great. She didn't drink, so she was able to like pick me up and bring me to the car, and
Sure.
Yeah.
That's got a girlfriend to have.
it was.
The designated driver / girlfriend.
I'm here thanks to her.
While driving to her residence, the 21-year-old woman got a text. Okay, so here's what happens. All right, I'm going to set this up for you. All right, so they're driving back from the bar. The girl is driving, and she gets a text. He's like, who's texting you? Just some guy I slept with at school. Oh, Jesus. And then it turns into a big fight. She drops him off. He gets out of the car. You stupid bitch. I never want to see you again. Or whatever, it is. She slams the door. She drives off. Okay? While driving to her residence, the 21-year-old woman gets a text from McGinnis stating that he had her $200 pair of jeans and he was throwing them outside. Okay? So apparently she left jeans at his house. And he texts her on the ride home. Couldn't just let it go. He's looking for a fight because he's drunk. You don't want to let it go. She's going home.
It was over.
She's going to sleep with the dude that just texted her. That's why she dropped you off. Yeah. All right, so leave it alone. Leave it alone. So she's driving back, reportedly, to her house. And he texts her, I got your $200 jeans and I'm throwing them in the yard. The woman doubled back to McGinnis's home, where he came out of the driveway with the jeans, but they were covered in wasabi sauce. I love wasabi sauce.
I do too.
I love that stuff, man. You know what? Sushi is inedible without wasabi sauce. It's all just a means to get. Sushi is just a means to get to the wasabi. That's what it is.
I don't know too much about it. I've never actually tried sushi because I assumed that I would not enjoy it.
Really?
So I'm not a seafood guy. So
Man, I'm not really either, though.
Yeah.
But sushi is awesome.
Really?
So actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna say sushi's not awesome. Wasabi is awesome. It's the wasabi sauce that
So should I just go in there and ask for
Shrimp
the wasabi?
tempura is so good. Oh,
Should you just go in and order wasabi?
Yeah.
No, because your head will explode.
Oh yeah.
The wasabi needs to go on something
Okay.
to
Wasabi and
absorb the
bread?
wasabi.
No.
Nah, because you know what it is? I think it's the fish. I think it's the combination of the fishiness of the salty fishiness of the fish with the super crazy hot wasabi.
Okay. I'm gonna have to try it.
It sort of makes everything go. I mean, I make a really good. I dated a Japanese girl.
Mm-hmm.
She showed me how to make like the wasabi soy combination that is just perfect. It's just the perfect amount of soy, the perfect amount of wasabi. You whip it up together, and you got this sort of like thick brown liquid, and then you dunk your sushi in there and pop it. When I eat sushi, man, my sinuses all go away. My eyes tear up. I mean, it's hard. It's like
Nice.
a workout eating it, but it's so good.
I do like spicy things, and there's this place in Deep Ellum. It's called Deep Sushi.
Been there.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
Good, because that's the place that keeps on tempting me. Like, because I'll be going by there with people, and they'll be like, "Oh, we should go by and get some sushi," and I'm always the guy who says, "Let's go get somewhere else,"
Deep sushi's good.
So okay,
It's one of the better ones.
Good.
All right, so the woman doubles back to McGinnis's home where he comes out of the driveway with jeans covered in wasabi sauce. She told cops that McGinnis had my jeans by the waist and whipped me in the face with them. I got wasabi sauce in my eyes and they were burning and I couldn't see. McGinnis, a Springfield college student, then tossed the wasabi sauce inside the woman's car. The victim told officers that after McGinnis threw her to the ground, apparently he also threw her to the ground. You might want to lead with that. That sounds like the actual assault, not the jeans that were covered in wasabi.
well, they're pure denim. Raw denim.
After he threw her to the ground, she got back into her car and retrieved a bottle of water, which she then used to flush out her eyes, which were burning from the wasabi. Cops noted that the passenger side of the woman's 2007 Toyota Camry was covered in wasabi sauce. The victims, whose clothing was covered in dirt stains, had visible red marks on her neck area, and her right eye was visibly red and swollen. After being arrested at his home, McGinnis was placed in a police cruiser where he admitted, I did put the wasabi sauce on her jeans, but she has done worse to my car in the past. Along with calling the woman crazy, McGinnis added, some guy she slept with in school was texting her. I want it known that I'm not drunk and she is.
Oh man.
so he's getting the douche of the day for wasting wasabi sauce?
No, he's getting he's a candidate for the douche of the day. McGinnis was
candidate.
charged with 3 misdemeanors, including assault and battery by dangerous weapon sauce. He's free on bail. McGinnis is scheduled for July 12th pre-hearing trial. All right, so there you go. That's the
Wow.
first one. The boyfriend who just needs to just let her go. You don't need to text her to get her to come back for the $200 pair of jeans, and you certainly don't need to soak them in wasabi, although that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, but it is a weapon. I mean, wasabi is a serious weapon.
Oh, wasabi.
It would definitely not be good. All right. Here we go. This next one is going to be Viacom. Viacom, our old company, Jimmy Ryan.
Oh. I thought that I was going to really hate the guy at first, but now we got Viacom.
It's almost hard to not give the Eternal Deuce Trophy to Viacom. I cannot stand Viacom.
No.
They still own CBS Radio.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Viacom.
Yeah. And that goes along with basically all the others that basically run all of these things. It just kind of ruined, well, could talk about that forever.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. And some people think that we ought to just do a podcast where we criticize radio.
Yeah.
Which might be fun.
Have you really gotten that like as many times? Because that's usually the thing that I get from people is like, oh, dude, just talk about like how you hate it.
Just do an inside radio show.
Yeah.
Where you talk about, it's an idea. All right, here, this concerns Don Rickles. Have you been following the Don Rickles story?
No.
Do you know who Don Rickles is?
Oh, God.
No.
He's a bald dude.
He's a bald dude? Is that what he's known for?
Overweight. Semi-overweight
Let me see if
bald
I've
dude.
seen his face.
He's 100 years old, man. I mean, he's a legendary stand-up
He looks
comic.
like the father from Eight is Enough.
Oh, I've seen him. Yeah. I've seen this guy.
He is the king of insult comedy. That's his whole thing, where he just comes out on stage and he just tears people
He was in
apart.
Casino, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He was
he was
pit boss in Casino.
He played, he was the pit boss in the movie Casino.
You should learn for that reason.
All right, let's see here. Don Rickles shocks Hollywood crowd with racial Obama joke. Now, here's my problem with this, okay? Just from the very outset. Don Rickles has been doing race humor for 50 years. It's why people love him. It doesn't matter who is standing in front of him. He will find one thing about them to harp on, and he will drive it home. If you're gay, he's going to just slam on you for being gay. If you're black, he's going to slam on you for being black. If you're Jewish, he's going to slam on you for being Jewish. I mean, that's just his act. He's the original insult comic. That was his bit. Every insult comic that exists after him. Triumph the Insult Comedy Dog is a tribute to Don Rickles. I mean, this is what he does. Oh, but now, we live in a world where we don't allow that anymore. So the poor 80-year-old guy, we got to do something. We got to penalize the 80-year-old guy. And Don Rickles is an old man. He's been doing this forever. He's beloved.
And that's what you expect from the older guy, too. You want him to be able to do the stuff that was,
He's grandpa. He's everybody's grandpa. We don't give them any credence. We just tune them out and let them say whatever they want. And it's because they're old.
Yeah, it's still cute. It's like, oh, look at that.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's cute. The little old racist man. It's cute.
Same thing, like I've met there was one guy, a black guy that lived right down the street from us. And when I was growing up, he was probably around 60 or so. And by the time I was moving out, he was like reaching 80. And we ended up going over there for a barbecue one time, and he had some of his old friends over, and I overheard some of the things that they were saying about like white people in general, and I thought it was hilarious because I mean, like obviously I could have sat around being all the put my face between my legs and just be like, oh, this is so sad or something. It was hilarious. I mean, obviously you're gonna get this from like an older generation. They're angry about things, So
I would love to. That's another good idea for a podcast.
Yeah.
Let's do a show, me and you and like three old dudes, like old dudes. Like 70, and just get their take on stuff.
Yeah,
how funny would that be?
It would definitely be interesting too because they will have.
Here's the other good thing about
take.
they don't care about being politically incorrect,
right?
Or correct. They don't give a rat's ass. They're old, damn it. Their chest hurts.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
You do just stop caring about the little things that you did
and
early
you stop
on.
caring about people who are criticizing you for doing things that you don't see any harm in.
Yeah, it's something that I kind of I admire. I admire that they get right to it.
Yeah, I would listen to that podcast every day, just like three old men talking about Lindsay Lohan. How great would that be? Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be
funny.
That would be greatness.
Three old guys reviewing, The Bachelor or something like that. I want to hear these guys' take on it.
I do too.
All right. Viewers of TV Land will not be able to watch insult comic Don Rickles compare President Barack Obama to a janitor at the recent American Film Institute tribute to Shirley MacLaine when the network broadcast its shortened version of the evening's festivities at 9 p.m. on June 24th. Here's a quote now. "It's not going to make it on air. That's all I'll say about it, says a spokesman for the cable channel, which presented Rickles with its Legend Award in 2009. The cable channel, by the way, it's Viacom, is the company that owns it. TV Land's edited AFI program will run 90 minutes. The Black Tie Evening, which lasted 4 hours, took place at Sony Picture Studios on June 7th. Rickles' material also included jabs at Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, and McClane, although none went viral like the 86-year-old's comments about the current commander-in-chief, President Obama. All right. Here's the thing. You want to hear the joke? You want to hear the Don Rickles joke that everyone's all up in arms about? And if you know Don Rickles' act, you can totally hear it in his voice, which, Jimmy, you surprisingly do not know his act.
No, I've seen quite a bit of his acts before. I just didn't recognize his name at first.
Here's what he said. President Obama's a personal friend of mine. He was over at the house yesterday, but then the mop broke. Boom, boom, tss. That's the whole joke. That's it. And then he moves on to attack Warren Beatty or Shirley MacLaine. That's it. That's the whole joke. That's the whole offensive joke.
Dear God, all hands off the president. He's
It's
not
even
somebody that you're
a joke, though.
It's an old man joke. It's a joke that probably would have been funny back in the 1950s when all black people were janitors. But now he's so out of touch, he doesn't even realize that janitors are now Mexicans and Eastern Europeans. There are no black janitors. There are no black janitors anymore.
Well, and that's the part where the cute comes in, because you're
It's cute. He's old school.
Yeah, because I mean, like, he throws the joke. The punchline's supposed to have immediate laughter. There's that little hesitation where people are saying, "Whoa, why is that supposed to be?" Oh, that's right, because he's old. He thinks that black people are still janitors.
That's why you put these guys out there.
Yeah,
because it's funny. We're laughing. See, Don, today at 86, we're not so much laughing with you anymore. We're laughing at you. That's what we're doing.
And that's fine. That's what old people are supposed to be there for, is like a bit of a reminder of the past.
Was the joke racist or just Rickles? Dennis Haysbert, himself skewered by the comic for appearing in Allstate insurance ads. Now, I know you don't know who Dennis Haysbert is.
I do, actually.
How do you know who Dennis? Because you watched 24?
Well, he came in one day, and like I used to watch 24, and
You watched the unit?
no, but I actually have been told that I need to start watching that as
Unit's
well.
awesome.
Yeah. But he ended up coming in one day for the morning show, and he wanted some tea. And I had the pleasure of making tea for the president that day.
Hey!
Dude, I really felt like I was giving tea to the president, because
Yeah?
he has one of those, like,
Dignified.
yeah, just like those vibes that he puts out where it's like he runs things all of a sudden. Like, when he walked into CBS that day, he was the owner of the place. Like, that's
He's Dennis Haysbert.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he's large and he's a big man. He's a black man. He's a big black man.
Yeah.
Suits, dresses really well. Played the president on 24.
Well, and when he went to reach for the green tea, he put it out in such a way where he was like, give it
Authority.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know who Dennis Haysbert is?
Yeah, he does the Allstate. I think you recall. He's got the deep voice.
He's the black guy that does the Allstate commercials.
Yeah, I know he is.
Yeah. He's got a real deep voice. Yeah.
The worst part about that whole thing was I was so excited to meet him, and meet him. Hey, is there anything that I need to know before you go in? Yeah, just make sure that Jagger doesn't tell me to do any voices. That's all based on all contract stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, anything else you need? Green tea. Okay, I'll go get you green tea. Forgot about telling Jagger not to do the voiceover thing. He's such a nice guy that Jagger goes right into, oh, you should do voices.
Oh, no.
And he's in there doing voice. I'm next door, like, basically getting some audio ready as I'm hearing Dennis Haysbert in there doing voiceover stuff with Jagger.
And Dennis Haysbert, to this day, will remember you as the slimy producer who sold him out.
Yep.
One thing that he asked.
Yep. So, hey, I got him a great green tea. That's what I was very excited about. So
it says, was it racist or just Don Rickles? Dennis Haysbert, himself skewered by the comic for appearing in Allstate insurance ads, carefully tells us, I thought what Don said about me was very funny. Rickles has appeared as himself on the unit, but observes Tamara Rowett, who attended the AFI event and co-created and produced In Living Color of the slam on the president. What was kind of magical was watching a room of deeply discreet A-listers secretly get off on watching someone getting a day pass to rant and rave. You need 2 ARP cards to get away with stuff like that. See, that's the attitude that you need. He's an old guy. He's an old guy. What are you getting all bent out of shape about? He's an old guy. What do you think? Don Rickles has FU money, okay? He's living fine. You don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
You don't have to. He got no boss. He hasn't had a boss in 30 years. Actually, he hasn't had a boss since Sinatra died. He was one of Sinatra's hangers-on. He was one of those guys. But he's he's not worried about offending anybody. He doesn't care. He's not changing his act. He's doing Don Rickles circa 1963. That's what he's doing in the Sands Ballroom in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's still doing that.
And that's the best decision he could make, is sticking with his act. Why would you change it up just because everyone's gotten so PC all of a sudden? That's what makes you stand out. So he's genius for doing it.
So here now is the latest, okay? Rickles' people himself are telling this column that he is not being censored now after all. Before all of this started, we knew that Don's spot would be cut a bit for time, as would others, including possibly Shirley MacLaine herself, since the show ran over and we knew it was likely that it might be edited. This is a non-story and requires no further comment. Well, okay, if it's not a non-story, then you know what? Leave that joke in, because it's an interesting joke, and again, it shows Don Rickles being the old man that he is, which is what most of us know him to be. It's kind of heartwarming. It's kind of heartwarming that we all know that what he is saying isn't appropriate anymore, but he is getting a day pass because he is a multiple ARP card holder. And the rest of us are going, remember how old people used to be? Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's how old people, remember how we all used to think like that?
Well,
it's history. You're whitewashing history.
I loved my grandpa when he was around, but every once in a while he would say things that I would look over at him and be like, man, if he knew that I was friends with certain people in school, he would not understand me. So it was a nice little reminder of what it used to be like. Oh, yeah. And that's what he is, you know? So.
Well, all right. Let me see here. What's the last one that we'll do? All right. Well, this is just because it's Lindsay Lohan, and there's no. I don't even know why this is a douche of the day story, but it's we're gonna fit it in here because I wanted to talk about it. Did you hear that she has? Okay, I'm gonna ask you if you know who this is. Do you know who Bret Easton Ellis is? You're a literate guy. You don't know who Bret Easton Ellis is?
No, I don't. Who is that?
Brandon, Bret Easton Ellis?
No.
Man, do you guys read books? Are you guys literate at all?
Of course.
He's like one of the greatest novelists of the last 30
fiction.
years. He's our generation's Hemingway.
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous. Don't quote me on that. I'm not saying that. I don't even like all of his books.
No, I don't do fiction, so...
Oh, he's famous for he wrote Less Than Zero, which they turned into a movie.
Love that show.
It's a great movie. Yeah, it's great. It's a great book. Even better book. He wrote American Psycho.
Okay.
Okay, you've seen American Psycho?
No.
Really? You've never seen it? I would think that you would know American Psycho.
I've heard of it, and I've seen, a lot of people have talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote American Psycho, wrote Rules of Attraction. He's a very well thought of 40-something writer. He's of my generation, he's like... one of the great ones.
Okay.
He's the guy that didn't write Generation X, which everybody thinks he wrote Generation X. No, he didn't. All right, at any rate, so Bret Easton Ellis has a new movie, and this is really interesting because if it weren't for the pedigree, you would think, oh my God, she has fallen on hard times, because it concerns Lindsay Lohan. Mm-hmm. Lindsay Lohan is signed on to be in this new Bret Easton Ellis movie, which is being shot in 20 days, in and around the hills of Hollywood. It's being shot on... Hold on. So, what is this? You know more of the tech stuff, Jimmy. What is this style that people are shooting? It's got a $200,000 budget.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it sounds like a really bad movie. You know what I mean? It sounds like something that a bunch of kids are making, except the script is Bret Easton Ellis. The director is Paul Schrader. I mean, and it stars Lindsay Lohan. And, are you ready for this? James Dean. Do you know who James Dean is?
Yeah.
Who is James Dean?
I just know of the name, mainly. But it comes from back in the day. No?
Okay, it was kind of a trick question, because I wanted to see where you were going.
Yeah. I just know of an older guy named James Dean that I'm probably supposed to be known.
Rebel Without a Cause.
Okay, there we go, yeah.
Giant.
Okay.
Really?
I think that you remember people that don't need to be remembered as much.
No, James Dean is an iconic American
He is, but really,
actor.
What has he done in the last 10 years?
Well, he's been dead for 50. So.
Okay, then yeah, I should definitely know of this guy.
Well, he was like...
It's like Noah Marilyn Monroe, though. He's the guy version of Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, he was a big, major male movie star who died in a car accident when he was like 25 years old. But he
had an edge to him.
Yeah, he only made 3 movies. He was the original bad boy in movies. He wore a leather jacket, rode a motorcycle,
So, yeah, in my brain, he was a guy from back in the day. I'm going to keep it at that.
All right. Well, there is a guy currently going around with the name James Dean who's been cast in that, and that's this porn star James Dean. Lindsay Lohan is doing a movie with a porn star that's being shot over 20 days in and around the Hollywood Hills. It's being shot on video or whatever, digital camera or whatever. And it co-stars a porn star. And all of that sounds really bad until you realize that the director is Paul Schrader and that the writer is Bret Easton Ellis, which is like really big name stuff. So it makes the cheap budget and the digital camera and all of that and the short production schedule, it makes it cool. It's not broke ass now.
It legitimizes the whole thing.
Totally legitimizes the whole thing. Yeah, absolutely. Here's the story. Oh boy. Hold on. This is why. All right. Lindsay Lohan was set to play deep throat porn star Linda Lovelace, but months after she was dropped from the film, Lindsay Lohan is set to star alongside a bona fide porn actor, James Dean. Currently starring as Elizabeth Taylor in the biopic Liz and Dick, Lindsay's next role will be opposite porn actor Dean in a film about youth, glamour, sex, and Los Angeles. Lindsay Lohan is set to star alongside porn actor James Dean in a sexually explicit new film about the seedy underbelly of Los Angeles. And Lohan, who is working hard to revive her fading career, will be required to appear nude in the movie. Any interest in seeing her naked, Jimmy?
Well, she was in Playboy, wasn't she?
Yeah, I don't think that I've ever seen her naked. I'd like to see her naked.
Yeah.
I think she's attractive.
I would definitely, yeah.
Let's see. The guy she's performing with, James Dean, Performer of the Year. Do you watch a lot of porn?
Just whatever's on like but whatever's like on the U-porns and things like that, yeah.
Now, I know who this guy is. Typically, I don't know who male porn stars are, but I know who this guy is because he's got a bit of a crossover appeal to him. He has been the subject of a lot of news reports, critical news reports about his appeal. He is, again, this was on like 2020 or something. He appeals to young girls. He is the sole reason that young girls, 15, 16, 17-year-old girls are now watching porn. Because of this guy, James Dean.
Wow, what is he?
Well done, sir.
Appeal?
What's his appeal?
It's like a boy band guy or something?
Yeah, yes. He's a boy next door type. He's not it used to be male porn stars were creepy and secondary, you didn't worry about him. But this guy, James Dean, yeah, he does. He looks like he could be up there in NSYNC or something. He's young looking. He's really, he's got a, how do I describe it?
Overly muscular?
No, not at all. Slight of build, normal build, boy next door face, boy next door hair, boy next door kind of attitude, no tattoos. He's not all, he looks like a really good boy next door. You said it right. He looks like a Justin Timberlake type who's like doing porn, and so he's become very, very popular in the porn business. And they're doing all of these, is this man in your child or your daughter's laptop, or all this kind of stuff, because young girls like love this guy. He's got like millions and millions of Twitter followers, and they're all like 17, 16, 15-year-old girls.
He's the Justin Bieber of porn.
Yes, he's the Justin Bieber of porn. That's absolutely right. It says here, Dean, the porn industry's male performer of the year, has featured in over 4,000 X-rated films. Also known as the Ryan Gosling of porn, because he's like, cutesy kind of,
This guy has it too easy. Something's got to give. You're in porn. You've got hundreds of or millions, apparently, of Twitter followers. Yeah. All hot girls that are probably
underage girls.
Oh, and then once you get out of the porn industry, you get to settle down with a nice 21-year-old. I mean, you know what? Screw this guy. Yeah, he's just getting it too easy.
Also known as the Ryan Gosling of porn, Dean will play the lead character Christian, a handsome, fit, a power player, and major manipulator who enjoys setting up three-ways and filming them. Last night, Easton Ellis confirmed on Twitter that both Lindsay and Dean were signed up. He tweeted, "Shooting the Canyon, starring James Dean and Lindsay Lohan, July 9th through the 31st in L.A. Could not have dreamed of a better cast. Lindsay nailed it." The Canyons, previously being developed as a TV series, will be directed by veteran screenwriter Paul Schrader, who wrote Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, American Gigolo. I mean, this has got a pedigree.
Jimmy, you're going to get sick to your stomach because this is going to be what crosses this guy over into mainstream movies and stuff. Yeah. So now he'll be even bigger. He'll be talked about. Go ahead.
It'll drive a lot of the girls in the industry crazy because girls that have wanted to make this move haven't done it in a way.
Tracy Lords did it.
This guy already is.
Nah, nobody's done it. Nobody's done it.
Tracy Lords was on Melrose Place for a long time.
Yeah, but she was never a bona fide crossover. She was
Melrose
different.
Place is a pretty big deal.
Sasha Gray's more of a crossover star than Tracy Lords was. I mean, and her crossover appeal has fizzled.
Yeah, well, I remember we used to go to the AVNs each year.
Dude, Tracy Lord never made a movie with Steven Soderbergh. Okay,
I'm just saying
Sasha
she got
Grey
on a
did.
major network show, Melrose Place, which was huge at the time, and had her day in the sunlight.
She was the closest to crossing over, but she never. Even if you asked her, she'd tell you she never made it. She's close, but no cigar. All right, here I'm pulling up some pictures of this dude so you can get a look at him. But yes, in recent years, here he is. This guy, see him?
Yeah, I've actually seen him before.
Yeah. You seen him? Look at his build. He's not. Jimmy, you want to check him out?
I don't see why young girls would be all about this guy because he looks older than he looks kind of young there, but he just looks like a guy being in college.
That's why the girls I think like
23-year-old
and
college guy.
most of the guys in porn, are the big steroided up 50-year-old dudes, with
Right.
tattoos and beard. They're not really anything that
he's
a
just a
16-year-old
normal guy, man.
Yeah, he's the boy next door.
He's the food court manager.
Oh, look at this. And look, there's already pictures of him and Lindsay Lohan together because they're doing the movie together. Yeah. All right. Well, let's round that up. That's not really a who's the douche of the day? Well, what are we gonna go with? Let's go with Viacom just because we can.
I want to say James Dean now.
Why do you want to say James Dean? You want to go with James Dean?
Because, we all get by knowing that not everything's going to be perfect because it's not for anybody. And then this guy comes around and ruins it for everybody. I mean, this is perfect. I thought nobody was supposed to have that.
That makes you the douche for being jealous of him.
Yeah, you're a hater.
Yeah.
You're a hater.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
So what were the options? James Dean,
The options were
the Wasabi Kid.
the Wasabi Kid and Viacom for censoring old man Don Rickles for saying that
Viacom
President
for
Obama
sure.
was a
Viacom
janitor.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Viacom too. Jimmy,
Yeah.
you're going to go with James Dean?
I will, but I will immediately get on Twitter and start the hater bot 5,000.
Oh.
start
You need some more
taking
attention. There you
shots at
go.
him.
That was nothing more than promote the guy.
Here, you know what? Here's the story. It's funny. I was talking about the story I saw in 2020 or something.
You'd be like a 70s show, like 8 is enough or something.
ABC News. Here's the headline. James Dean, wholesome-looking boy next door is porn's hottest star. It was Nightline. Not Nightline that did the piece on him. What if that dashing boy next door, the one that seems so wholesome and has a cute smile, was on the internet beckoning and ready to romance your every whim and sexual fantasy? That's what women find so appealing about James Dean. With his curly brown hair, soft blue eyes, and fit body, this 25-year-old porn sensation from Pasadena looks like he could be your neighbor, your classmate, or the cute guy at the bar you've been hoping will catch your eye. Watch the full story on Nightline, blah, blah, blah. At any rate, it goes on to say, in an industry where women usually take center stage, Dean has become a porn superstar in his own right. He has starred in over 4,000 movies and is the youngest person ever to win porn's Male Performer of the Year. When I got into this business, I never had any intention of ever winning an award. I never had any intention of ever having anyone know who I was, Dean said. I intend to, do a bunch of scenes, be good at my job, have a lot of fun. Yeah.
Do the math on that. 4,000 shows. I mean, he's had sex 4,000 times. If you had sex for 5 years, that's 800 times a year. That's almost 3 times a day.
That's a lot. That's
a lot of sexing to be doing.
He's been in a lot of movies. It says, I'm kind of an average, normal-looking guy. I don't know. I'm approachable, Dean said. And for that, the ladies, especially teenage girls, adore him. Christina Alshon, 20, is a student in upstate New York who said she is one of Dean's biggest fans and is going to become a James Dean loyalist. Alson said she often checks up on Dean through Tumblr and even has a setting to track when his name is mentioned on the blogging platform. The first time I saw him, it was kind of really relieving, Alston said, because in porn, the males are usually guys I'm not even close to being attracted to. He's just so accessible. He looks like somebody that I could see. A coffee shop or something and actually approach. I mean, if he were, just a regular guy, he is just a regular guy. So, that's his appeal. The young girls like him. And Jimmy hates him.
Yeah, I do now. No, I think that this is going to end the exact same way that Sasha Grey ended. Where I remember they were doing that 2020 thing, and we went to the AVNs one year, and she was the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody, she was going to be
She
doing.
was the star of Entourage, and she was starring in a Steven Soderbergh movie.
Yeah, and she was doing like this talk. It was the weirdest thing. You got basically a room full of porn stars and people in the industry. Sasha Grey is going to talk to everybody in the industry about how you make the conversion over to doing normal, films and things like this. This is how far along she already was as far as they were considered.
I'll tell you what's bull crap about that. It is not anything that the porn actor themselves is going to do to make the crossover. It's culturally, society changing to accepting a porn star as something less than the fringe person that they were. I mean, for years when you were in porn, it was like you didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Now you're in porn. Now there's no shame there anymore, or at least there doesn't appear to be. So it's us, it's society who has changed to be more excited. She didn't do anything different other than be born at the right time and be in porn at the right time.
The only thing that will change this, and it will happen sooner than later, those Google glasses, like I know that we've talked about this a few times, but they're going to be turned into contacts, right? Where you can basically record everything that you're seeing. Porn is going to be something that everyone knows about you. What you do in bed is going to be something that everybody knows about you. At some point, and probably in our lifetimes, we are going to have like released videos of intimate moments between a couple after they break up. These videos are going to flood the internet, and it's going to be commonplace for people to have their sexual situations on the internet.
Right.
When that happens, you will have porn stars at the very top of Hollywood because it won't be a big deal.
I think we're already there, and I think it'll take a porn star who is... See, here's the problem with porn stars, though, and I know quite a few of them. There's not really much required other than if you're a woman, you've got to be attractive, and you've got to be uninhibited in front of cameras. That's really it. Now, to cross over, you have to memorize lines. You have to show up on set on time. You have to be a professional. You have to actually have some kind of talent where you can act. That's been the problem. I don't know that there has been anybody in porn that could actually act.
No. And that's one of the things that the girls are most scared of. Just Sunday night, it was the weirdest thing. I ended up running into actually someone who works at a really well-known organization. And she said that she was given the offer to do more of the like storyline things where you do the acting and things like that to build up. And she turned it down, even though that was supposed to be more money, because she was so freaked out by it. Yeah. But it was one of the companies that still do a lot of those.
Porn stars, and by the way, we use that term, star, very liberally. They're everywhere. They are everywhere. I'm a porn star. Really? I've never seen you.
And every other girl's a model.
Yeah, every other girl's a model, and any girl that's had sex on film that her boyfriend then uploaded to girlfriends.com is now a porn star.
Yeah.
Please. All right, let's move into a little bit of TV. What do we have? We got anything to watch? Anything that you watch on television?
No.
Today?
No. I can't think of anything. I've been watching the Ricky Gervais show.
Oh, yeah?
On Fridays.
That's a good show.
Yeah. But that's basically the extent of it.
Now, hold on. I like the Ricky Gervais show, too. That's the animated thing?
Yes. Yeah, it's actually based off of a podcast that they started out doing on XFM like in 2004. And you can go back. One place I know of is demonoid.me. But you can go back and download all of the tracks and listen. It's the greatest stuff to listen to.
Isn't it the best talk radio?
It is.
It is so fantastic, and that is not the kind of talk radio that we will ever have in this country.
No, and what was even better was like the XFM days, because they were doing a podcast that they would go into a studio and record. The XFM days, they were doing shows at a station that was a lot like what we used to do. So like if you can kind of envision this, they would send out Stephen Merchant to a McDonald's. And like they're gonna do this like whole bit where they're gonna try to get Carl to eat as many hamburgers as he can, and like is a certain amount of time, and just so many different things that they made Carl do that weren't put into the HBO, I'm sure, because of rights.
And then the HBO show, what they do is they just take the audio and they animate it.
Yes.
And that's really cool.
Because it is all kind of like a mental picture that they draw for you.
All right, I got nothing to suggest tonight on TV. Tomorrow's the big debut of Dallas, so we'll talk about that. Other than that, it's just a Wednesday night. Nothing really big on TV. Let me see. I'm going to quickly scan through, see if I'm forgetting something. Oh, wait a second. Is Dallas debuting tonight?
Pierce Morgan's having them back on again.
Wednesday, June 13th. Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Okay. The new Dallas reboot is tonight on TNT. Yeah. At 8 o'clock on TNT, the pilot of the new Dallas series.
Now, is this supposed to be
at 9 o'clock, Hedging Your Bets, the first episode of the new Dallas reboot. So, so there you go. TNT tonight, 8 and 9 o'clock.
Is it supposed to be big?
Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, everybody's all excited about it.
Okay, so it's not just because, I mean, obviously, if I heard Dallas...
because we're here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is, like I said, they were on Piers Morgan last night. Doesn't get much bigger than that. Right?
Right. Apparently.
No, they got they got JR. That's important, and they got Bobby. That's important, and they got Sue Ellen. Those are like the main holdovers from the original. But then they're going to sort of introduce a whole new cast of youngins, like John Ross, who we knew. You never watched Dallas, did you? You were too young.
No.
All right, John Ross, who was the son of Sue Ellen and JR, who in the original Dallas was just an infant, just a baby, and he's now a 20-something-year-old dude who's a chip off the old block. He's like the newfangled JR, and his dad's still around. So that'd be interesting to see.
James Dean's been cast.
No, not James Dean.
It's very much like a mafia movie, though. Think about it.
Dallas?
Yeah.
It's definitely about a family, a corrupt criminal family.
Yeah, corrupt criminal family. There you go.
Yeah. All right, so that's tonight. So that'll be very exciting, folks. You can watch that on TNT. I'll be watching. We'll give you the review on the following day. But last night, Brandon, you're in here because we want to talk about the Devil's Ride quickly here, right?
Oh, yes, the Devil's Ride, the greatest show on TV right now.
It's not the greatest show on TV, but it is a great show. It is a very good show. I will say that it is one of my favorite reality shows that's on right now. It's nowhere near The Pitch. Have you watched The Pitch yet?
I looked for that last night. I found AMC, by the way. It's one of those upper, higher channels. I did not see where The Pitch comes on, though. I'll try to find it.
You got to go to your on-demand. You watch on-demand?
Yeah,
I'll show you how to find it your on-demand. If you're not, the on-demand time, we have Time Warner?
Yeah.
See, Time Warner's on demand is just a cluster F. It's horribly confusing. It's no fun at all. It's blah. But I navigate it so much over the last couple of months. I can find stuff on there. Like A&E is hidden. Like if you want to find the A&E stuff or AMC, yeah. If you want to find
it's under like a category, probably.
Yeah,
like
it's under like lifestyle and knowledge.
Yeah. I can find it. My on demand was messing up, but the Devil's Ride last night, though, there's a lot of problems I had with the show.
All right, tell me about your problems with the Devil's Ride. Discovery Channel, 9 o'clock every Tuesday night. It's about a motorcycle club in San Diego.
Season finale. And it's where we finally let the rubber hit the road, where Sinister Mob, which is ran by Gypsy, the former president of the Laughing Devils, the
founding father, the guy who created the Laughing Devils, who was forced out.
Basically has to confront Billy the Kid, who now is the current, they call it P for president of the Laughing Devils. So the guy that was his underdog, his VP, now rules Laughing Devils, and they want all their stuff back, man. So
the Laughing Devils are trying to get important club documents back from their former president, Gypsy, who Gypsy has now formed a new gang, the Sinister Mob.
First of all, let's go to the ECC. They created another chapter, the East Side Laughing Devils. I was really upset when Sandman, who is, I believe, both of our favorite characters on the show, he's the guy that stands up for everybody. He's kind of the bully, or how would you describe him?
He's a douchebag, but he's an entertaining douchebag.
Yeah, he's going to do right by your boy. He's going to take care of your. If you're his brother, he's going to be the first one to jump up there and
but he's no stranger to beating up the wrong guy. He's like that dude, too.
He's quick to jump.
Yeah, quick to jump. Done that a lot of
got a hot wife, or hot girlfriend, or whatever she is. She's the most attractive one, in my opinion.
Who apparently carries his balls around in her purse.
Very pissed at the fact that he's now decided to get off the show. He missed the first ride. He was going to be the sergeant of arms, and he's the worst sergeant of arms they could have chosen. But Hawkster chose him because he's the kind of guy that can make people listen. So,
right,
go ahead.
Here's basically what, just for people who don't understand, paint the picture for you. There's this gang in San Diego called the Laughing Devils.
Organization.
They decided to create another gang on the east side of town. Organization. So it's sort of like Laughing Devils 2. They took this one dude, Hawkster, who was a member of the original Laughing Devils, and they said, you're going to be the president of the new East Side Club. So he goes over there, and he makes Sandman, who was another guy from the original Laughing Devils, he makes him his sergeant-at-arms. Basically, the sergeant-at-arms, just like in Congress or the Senate, the sergeant-at-arms is in charge of morale. He's in charge of getting the message down to the lower ranks.
Keeping order,
yes. Basically, the guy who's the sergeant. If the other guys are troops, and the president is the general, then the sergeant-at-arms is the sergeant in charge of the troops, does what the general wants him to do with them. He's a complete screw-up. He didn't show up for his first job as the new sergeant of arms of the new motorcycle club, the East County version of the Laughing Devils. And everybody wondered, what's going on with Sandman?
Where's he at?
Where's Sandman? Why isn't he showing up for his first piece of duty? People already think he's going to be a horse crap sergeant because he's undisciplined and a hothead. And now here he is with his first chance to do something as sergeant, and he totally blows it off.
And what he blamed it was on personal reasons. What you didn't mention is they had a party, get together, and him and his old lady were getting into it in the back room. Like, she was upset that he's spending so much time with the club.
Old lady wants him out of the club. That was early in the episode.
So he shows up later on the episode after he no-showed the ride. He says, I need time off. I need to walk away for a little while. It's personal. I don't want to talk about it. So therefore, we lost one of our main characters from the show, apparently. Okay, now he might be back next episode, but he's gone for now. So I'm upset about that.
Yeah.
Next problem I have is the Laughing Devils want all their property back from
Gypsy,
from
the former
Gypsy,
president.
because now he's with another crew,
Right.
And he's with a sinister mob. So they're like, if you're going to be with another crew, you got to give all your stuff back. So they go and confront him head to head. Him and Billy meet up off the side of the road. Here's the problem I have at that meeting. Billy's like, I need to get my stuff back. Gypsy's like, nah, we'll see, maybe. He's like, Billy's like, you better get it back to me. Here's where I have a problem. Gypsy says, you know where I live. Mm-hmm. He said, you know where I live.
Right.
So what happens is they go to his house and confront him. And then Gypsy's like, why, how dare you come to my house? Gypsy, and I went back and rewinded to make sure he said those words. Gypsy said, you know where I live. He invited those guys to his house.
Yeah, but he wasn't speaking literally. He was just saying,
that's
you know
pretty
where
literally.
No.
Nah.
When people say something like that, it's not come to my house and beat me up in front of my kids. That's not what he's saying. What he's saying is, you know where I am. You got something to do. You want to have more beef with me. I'm around. You know where I am. That's what he meant by it.
They know where he's at, and they went there.
Right. Okay. So they show up at his house with 5 other guys. Like they're gonna strong arm him into giving this stuff away. I don't like. I'm all about the sin mob. I don't like the Laughing Devils. I don't like Billy. I think they're all a bunch of douchebags. The guy I hate more than anyone else is Danny Boy. What a turncoat this dude is. He's another one of the founders with Gypsy, and now suddenly he's all up on Billy the Kid's jock. I hate that Danny Boy guy.
He's just loyal to the club, though, the colors, man, and that's what it's about. I kind of like that.
No, they're stupid, immature morons. So you can't have the same colors. They're all Jimmy. These are all guys in their 40s and 50s, and their beef is that he's got a new gang and they're using the same color scheme.
It was disrespectful, and you don't get it because you're not from the
disrespectful. It's silly. If you think that's disrespectful, you are a moron. You don't know what disrespect really is. If I had a baseball team
called the Eagles,
yeah,
and you and Jimmy left my team and started the Bears, and y'all used the blue color, I'm not going to be happy about that.
Get over it. It's a color scheme.
I'm not.
You guys are grown-ass men. You're talking about threatening people's lives and livelihoods over a color scheme. This is why.
If I started a show called the Bugs and Smelly Show, you wouldn't be upset with me?
Completely different. It's a complete.
No, it's not.
Yes, of course it is. Of course, that's a completely different thing. Because you are neither bugs nor smelly. I'm not worried about
and
that.
your subject matter is obviously different.
Yeah. Yes,
Look,
obviously.
It's a thing that these guys take to heart. They need something.
Because they're immature.
Because they need something.
They're not intellectual. They're really low-hanging fruit. That's what these guys are. Not one of these dudes is what I would consider a smart guy. Not one of them.
I disagree.
Look at their lives. Look at their lives. They're biker gang guys.
They aren't planning the next expedition to the
No,
moon.
they're getting all bent out of shape over because they have no loyalty. It's the same thing with street kids who get tied into gangs. They are lacking something in their lives, so they put all of this credibility and credence into this group of guys that they hang around with.
They call it a family. There's nothing wrong with that.
We'll go home and spend. They've all got families of their own that they should be home spending time with. That's what they should be doing.
They don't all have families. No, they don't.
They almost all do.
And they have girlfriends and wives. A lot of people want to get away from their girlfriends and wives from time to time.
Join a bowling league.
That's the same thing. Bowling's the same thing. They're going to wear colors. They're going to wear...
Right, and that would be immature. If someone who was on my bowling team got sideways with me, and he went and formed a new bowling team, and they chose the same color scheme, I wouldn't go to a guy's... I wouldn't...
See, what you're not understanding is you're not understanding that the biker, it's a lifestyle. You're not getting that, okay?
And what you're not getting is that it's ridiculously immature. It's a ridiculously immature argument. It's with all of the problems that's what you're going to get bent out of shape about. I mean, it's so stupid. It's so silly.
If we went out, like we started bowling,
you see that as a worthy reason to be sideways with somebody.
We grew up different. That's all there's to it, dude. I believe in loyalty.
If we start up a bowling team and all of a sudden Brandon is looking over at one of the opposing teams and says, "Hey, they got the same colors that we do," I would have to turn to you, Pugs, and be like, "Do you know why Brandon finds it to be such a big deal?"
Why is it a big deal?
I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it
There's
if
only
one of
so
my-
many colors in
But
the
if one of my
spectrum.
members of my team went off and started their own bowling team and used my same colors, when colors is what it's all about, it's a representation of who you are.
And that's silly. That's
It's not-
immature
you
and
know what?
childish.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
I would say, hey, go get your shoes while you're worrying about all this stuff. The bowling shoes.
So you think it's all right in street gangs where they gun down kids for wearing a hat?
say
that's
that.
the same
Didn't
color.
say that. Didn't
It's
say
about
that.
colors. It's
Didn't
about
say
colors.
that. Did not say that.
It's about colors.
There's a
The whole
difference.
movie Colors was about colors.
If that kid left my gang and went and used that color, and we're a gang and we're a violent gang, then I
Right.
understand it.
So you justify killing another human being because they're wearing a Cardinals
If that's
hat.
part
Because
of
they're wearing a
if
red
that's
hat.
part of what goes on in that lifestyle, then it's just part
Okay,
of what the
so
lifestyle
now,
is.
so
I'm
now
not saying
let's
it's
talk
okay.
about. So now let's talk about the lifestyle.
Okay.
Is that a ridiculous way to lead your life?
No. I'm talking about the
Killing another human being
I'm not
over a
talking about the
color
killing.
is that
I'm
a
not talking-
ridiculous way
I'm
to
not
lead your
talking about
life?
that. But if I was in that lifestyle, if I was in that
Right.
lifestyle,
So let's talk about the lifestyle.
then that's part of the lifestyle.
And you think that's acceptable?
If you're in that lifestyle, you've accepted that to go into that. That's your. I'm not that person. Okay.
And the
But
person
the
who
person
is
going into that
okay.
thinks that way.
But the person who accepts that and goes into this lifestyle, all right, I'm going to go into this lifestyle. I guess if someone steals a color that I like, I'm going to have to kill him. You think that's an all right justification? That is.
Let me
that
stop.
person who makes
Slow
that-
down.
Hold
Slow
on,
down.
no. That person who makes that decision, that judgment call, that's a normal person.
Stop. Let me talk. If I'm the kind of person, which I'm not, to join a gang that's based on we're brotherhood, we're going to protect each other. It's life in, life out scenario, which a lot of them are that way, by the way. Then yeah,
These laughing devils are posers.
I'm not talking about the laughing devils.
Right.
If they disrespect that credo, that motto, the way it is, and its heritage, I understand why when someone disrespects them and leaves the gang and starts their own gang, they would go kill them. I get that.
You get it.
Because that's the way they're brought into. That's the way it's part of it. If you make an oath that says, I'm blood in, blood out, then you're blood in, blood out.
Look, I acknowledge that there are people
That's called loyalty.
that have that. That's how you define loyalty?
If I swear to you blood in, blood out, then yeah, then I'm at fault for leaving and starting my own gang using your
Man,
colors.
But you realize that's
No, I realize that
sociopathic
there's people
behavior.
No, I'm not. I realize there's
That's
something
not
called-
sociopathic?
I realize that if I make an agreement that I stick to my word, how's that sound? How about a little bit of loyalty? How about a little bit keeping my word?
There's
if
a
my
blood
word
like
is
this right now.
if my word is to you, Pugs, blood in, blood out. If I leave you, then you have a right to come at me. That's what I agreed to when I
'cause you know
got
what
into
I say?
this.
I say blood in, blood out. That's stupid.
Okay, but
That's the way to lead
that
your
ain't your
life.
rule, but that's their rule.
No, it's society's rule.
No, but that's their rule. So that
Right,
person
and
joined
their
that
rule-
gang, that was the rule they joined that gang into. They got to respect that.
And
Yeah, they should have joined.
you use like loyalty and respect, and then you completely.
No, because your gang doesn't require that blood in, blood out. But if I join a gang that's blood in, blood out, then I got to respect that's the way it's going to be because I signed up under that.
All right, and there is something wrong with you for joining that gang.
I don't disagree with that part, but the rules were blood in, blood out. Why not go by the rules?
Because the rules are asinine.
It
That's
doesn't
why.
matter, but when you-
What do you mean?
but when you
Because
agree-
someone's got to stand up and go, "Hey, you know what? This is really
Then
kind
don't
of
join the
dumb."
gang. Don't join the gang.
Okay, but and I won't because obviously
You're not welcome to join the gang.
those bylaws are not anything that I, a
Okay,
smart,
but the people that agree to
mature
them should stick to
person,
them.
would not
But the people
ever
that
agree
agree
to.
to them should stick to them. That's all.
And
I'm
that's why I say
saying.
those people are all antisocial losers. I said that. I said
That's
we're talking
fine.
about a group of people.
But
that,
I understand why they are that way. I get why they respect the laws of their own, the rules.
so do I. Because
Okay,
they're
then
stupid.
respect them. Then don't dog them out. Respect them.
But I don't respect stupidity. I do not respect
No.
antisocial behavior when it
you
comes
just
from
said you
stupid
respect
people.
them. You said I respect them.
No.
Go back around the table.
I don't, Brandon, you are missing the fundamental point. The fundamental point is there is something flawed in their logic
I
from the
don't
get-go.
disagree with that, but once you agree
Okay.
to those terms and you go into that with those terms, you got to understand if you disrespect the club and leave, they might kill you.
And I would say if you agree to those terms, then all bets are off because you're capable of anything because those terms are horse crap. Those terms are
but
ridiculous.
don't go in. If those are the terms, don't sign up for it. That's all I'm saying. If the terms are blood in, blood out, then don't sign up for it. And if you do, you're at fault.
This is all about grown men in their 50s being all twisted because someone's wearing a jacket with the same color as the other guys. And blood in, blood out is apparently...
You better be glad you're not on my softball team because you don't realize If you're on the same softball team as me and someone hits you, we're all coming after the guy that hits you, bro.
Well, I've been on plenty of
And I don't
softball
think you do that
teams
for
in my
me.
day.
Apparently, I don't want you on my teams. I was thinking about putting a softball team together for the barlive.com, and I don't want you on my team.
That's fine.
Because the other team attacks me, I'm by myself, apparently.
Fine.
I'm not going in public with you for a little while, Brandon, because you're wearing a blue little bandana
I
talking
know.
about how
That's
you have to wear your
Gang
colors.
member.
That's different. That's different. I wasn't in a gang and left the gang and used and started a new gang and used blue. It's totally different. I'm just saying, in the event we have a barlive.com softball league, you're not welcome on my team.
There's going to be 3 Bloods waiting out front.
That's all right. Well, I guess not. I'm 40. I don't want to play softball anymore anyway. I'm done with that stuff. But we got to go back to this because you really don't understand the flaw in the logic from the get-go.
I understand
that the attitude, the idea is antisocial.
I understand, not with the biker organizations, but with the gangs that are like blood. I get that that's flawed. I get that that's wrong. But if I'm going to enter that relationship knowing that's the rules, then you got to respect the rules.
Even if the rules are horse crap.
It don't matter the horse crap. That's the rules. Even it's like saying, well, you.
What if I want to join? What if I want to join and I want to change the rules? What if I want to join and I
Let
want
me
to
give you a better example.
change
Let me give you a better example. Let's say that I'm charging. I have a room for rent at the Summer House,
Okay.
and it's $3,000 a month, which is stupid. Let's say that Jimmy signed up for that. Are you telling me that he's allowed to go, screw that, I'll pay $500 because that was stupid? No, he agreed to $3,000 a month. He should pay $3,000 a month.
Dude, that is a contract, a binding
That's what
verbal or
that's
otherwise
your
between
problem.
you two.
You don't understand loyalty. Loyalty is a contract. Verbal contract.
I don't
It's a
understand
contract
loyalty.
with who you are as a person.
I don't
It's the same
understand
thing as if you
loyalty.
sign a piece of paper. It's stronger than that. You don't get that. See, that's where we're different. You don't get that. To me, being loyal to your friends and people, and I've been screwed by a lot of people, so I know this firsthand.
You know what I
I've
would
dealt
say
with
to
this
Jimmy?
a lot.
I would say to Jimmy, if he entered into that deal with you, don't pay him. Don't pay him. He is raping you at
And you know what?
$3,000.
But if he agreed to it, he should stick with it.
No,
Agreed to it,
no,
he should
because
stick with it.
he's getting screwed.
Okay, he should have not done
My
to begin with.
loyalty to Jimmy would be to make sure that he doesn't get screwed anymore by
All right, I'm
you
just saying,
charging
dude.
exorbitant rents for a room.
I think it's stupid too, but my point is he wants to pay that. That's his fault. He's a grown man. If he wants to pay that, that's his fault.
Nobody is going to argue that if he agrees into a contract with you, a lease agreement,
Well,
to
that's what
rent
the
a room
gangs
for
are. They're
$3,000.
agreeing to a contract.
Dude, that is such
blood
a
in, blood out.
flimsy analogy. That is a really flimsy
it's not.
analogy. Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is, because one is a recognized business contract, and the other is like a bunch of idiots pretending like, they're tough street gang guys. And let's talk about this, because we haven't even gotten to the main point of this whole show last night, which is that Juice died. And there's this guy, this character in the show who has been the total, he's the F up, right?
Yeah, he's a screw up.
He's a screw up.
Got a good heart though. Well, actually, a bad heart.
Actually, he's got a horse crap heart. Yeah.
Actually.
No, and I don't buy this. I know too many people like Juice. I know people of that ilk. They're not nice people. Why? Because every once in a while, they'll sit in the backyard with you and have a beer. They're not nice people. They're bad people. Juice was a bad person. He was a criminal. He was a thug. He was an a-hole. Do you remember when he was racing his bike up and down the street and the guy who owned the store complained, so Juice was going to go beat him up?
He was actually, you're wrong. See, it looked that way. No, I can go back and show you. I thought the same thing. He was actually going to go in there to try to make amends.
Well, Juice is a thug. Juice was a drunk, a drug addict, a criminal, in and out of crime, and he also had a bad ticker. And after focusing on him for the whole episode, in the last 30 seconds, do you think it sucked? It was like the last 30 seconds. The last 30 seconds, they just put up a card that says 3 weeks later. And then they're all talking about, Juice died last night. I'm like, whoa, wait, Juice is a major character. You can't just sum it up in the last 30 seconds.
You know why they did that though? They quit. They pulled the cameras off, like as shows do.
Yeah.
And they just didn't happen to have cameras filming for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I bet they hate that. I bet they hate that they didn't have Juice getting his grabber. Yeah, because he had a grabber. He was 36 years old. Had a bad heart.
He had a bad heart. What made the show interesting is that they actually, and this is kind of cool, they actually had his father came to town to spend 2 weeks with Juice, and they discussed his heart problem and how they were worried about him and how he could go at any moment. So it was all. How cool was that though? That was part of the show. I mean, it sucks, but they discussed everything that happened that was discussed. And they added that into the show, obviously, for a good reason. Yeah. And then he dies from exactly what they were talking about.
I like his dad. I like Juice's dad.
I did too.
His dad seemed like a kind of guy that had just been through so much hell with this
He's like, last time I saw you, you're getting arrested. You're getting locked up.
Yeah. And that's sad because, the dad obviously loved the kid, and the kid did nothing but disappoint him his whole life. And then the kid, dies of a grabber at 36 years old. Good show, though. But none of these people are... they're all... Gypsy is the most likable because he seems to be the most honorable. He seems to be the most loyal, which probably flies completely in the face of what your definition of loyalty is. But he's the guy that started the group. He's the guy that saw the group going in a bad direction where people weren't being respectful and weren't doing what he originally wanted the group to do. So he stepped aside, and then the minute they had their opening, they forced him out. Gypsy I like, but even Gypsy, Gypsy... Actually, you know what? Gypsy seems to be pretty smart. I will give Gypsy that he's smart.
No, he's definitely smart.
Billy the Kid, the new president, is not smart. Billy the Kid just wants to be president, and he loves having the power, and he likes being large and in charge. But I don't think he has any
feels very
grand
insecure
vision.
with his position. That's why he acts the way he acts.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what's cool about Gypsy, though. He goes, this is where I really respect him. He goes, I'm going to that clubhouse alone by myself. He goes, that's the way they should have done it to me. That's what I'm going to do to them. Which he walked in there swinging the bat.
Easy to say when you have a full camera crew behind you.
Yeah,
he didn't go
no.
alone. He knew he wasn't going to get killed. He had a camera crew.
I'd like to have seen what would happen if
no camera crew, just him showing up at the
Rumble.
And
I noticed a cop drove by when he was walking out. A cop was out there, even made the noise. So I'm like...
Although I want to know whose boombox it was that he destroyed.
Yes.
Took a baseball bat to some boombox that was sitting on a stoop out in front of the Laughing Devils
Can I tell you something?
clubhouse.
If that happened to us, if somebody walked in my house, which that's their place, by the way, I don't know the cameras matter. Because if someone walked in here right now and there's cameras on us and busted that speaker right there in my house, speaker, I'd be on them.
Yeah, we'd all attack them.
And I saw one guy who I like, the older guy the new guy.
Charlie.
He was ready to go at it. But I noticed that Snubs, little bitty Snubs, is it Snugs?
Snubs.
He was sitting there holding two guys back. That was like,
but Snubs likes Gypsy. Snubs is...
But he can't hold two big guys back.
All right, there you go. Laughing Devils. It's all done. It was a good show. I still will suggest that you all check out the Pitch reality show on A&E, or AMC, I'm sorry. And tonight on TNT, it is the reboot of Dallas. 8 o'clock is the pilot episode. 9 o'clock on TNT is the first official episode of the new reboot of Dallas. So we'll all be watching that. Anything else? Anybody?
Tomorrow night, Paula D Project, man. Don't miss that one.
Yeah, I'm so behind on that.
Paula D Project. And this weekend, Sunday, if you come out to the back now, we're going to have a Father's Day tanning contest. We're gonna tan on the patio out there.
What does that have to do with Father's Day?
I don't know.
Well, you're beautiful. You just tie everything together. Father's Day, I'm going to have chicks out there, and then bikinis, the tanning contest. All right, very good. Maybe you do like a whitest skin.
Well, there's categories. We got the hottest female and male tans. Then we got the best tan. Then we have the palest, and then we have the best beer belly tan.
All right, very good.
Where do the dads go during this?
The dads can participate in all of everybody.
Dads are judging. Hell yeah.
The beer belly could be dads.
All right, that's it for today. Really long show today. Well, I bet you the guys from Y&R are probably coming in here. We did an extra hour today.
Yep.
Sorry, Jimmy Ryan.
Oh, it's all right. No, they should be here at 4 to 6.
Well, they get here early.
Yeah.
And Dave's not here today.
They hang around. Yeah. No, did you know about that? No Big Dave today?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We're going to lose him one day, too, like Juice.
We'll be back tomorrow, right?
Yep.
I don't want to go into any dark thoughts about that. Yeah. I love Big Dave. I don't want to think about...
They're the unhealthiest show on radio, so...
They are unhealthy. All right. It's the PMS show. Pugs Moran for a Wednesday afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow, Thursday. Jimmy Ryan on Pugs. Brandon, Pugs, barlive.com.